number one live show in the world, West Coast Poplock Podcast. Coming to you from Pig Studios in Compton, California. Featuring radio personality Super Steve Flores, comedian extraordinaire, that dude Johnny C, and Mr. I'll Do Anything for a Buck, Mario 81. So throw your dubs in the air and let's get ready to pop lock.
It's the number one live podcast every Tuesday night.
Go!
It's the West Coast Poplock Podcast.
That's us.
Episode 90.
Fuck, man, that was a
90.
good year, man. 1990.
And you know what? We've been talking about this episode for a bit, and it started already an hour outside. All the stories, all this
Started
stuff.
on Saturday.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, for sure. That's when it started.
And it's just crazy, guys. Of course, you all know we talk about it once in a while. I originated from KROQ.
Once in a while, we talk about it all the time.
Every Tuesday night.
That's where
We talk about it once a week.
That's where me and Johnny met. That's where even Mario and I met.
Yep.
Through the KROQs. And all the guys in here were when me and Chuck first started KROQ. The reason that they're in here is because these are the guys that we met when we first got there. And just in my personal opinion, we were there. We got in there right at the tail end of the fucking what KROQ.
You guys got to see the last little glimpse of what being a van driver really was. Like, it was a fucking culture unto itself, being a van driver.
Well, introduce yourselves.
Yeah, let's go around.
What's up? Hey everyone, my name is Jenner. I actually came after you guys, so I think it's a nice representation. Like, you guys caught the tail end, I caught the very tail end. But
The tail.
But your brother was there before.
my brother was there before me. Yeah.
I'd like to say we were like Super and I were at the heyday of it, but yeah, if this is intro.
What's your name?
I'm
Yes.
Chuck Adami.
What did you do?
I'm basically Super Steve's brother, man. Like,
Yes.
yeah, like, and then honestly, I know you've had Rodney Wills on, and you had Lightning Jay Tillis on, like you had all that stuff, but I'm that missing link that's in there that hasn't told the full story.
Oh, shit.
Of how Super and I ended up on KROQ, but it was from Rodney and Jay Tillis. But yeah, I was KROQ promo van driver kid with Steve.
And I am Oso, street team extraordinaire.
Where'd you get the name Oso, by the way?
It was given to me like my very first shift, but I was, you all know, I was super fat boy. So I was more bear-like.
All right.
Now I guess.
I'm not like, you're fat. But you were fucking big as fuck, too. It's not like a short fat guy. It's like a giant
I will
fat
give
guy.
myself that I carried my fat well. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I still
Yeah,
I
it
carried it
wasn't-
well.
it
But
was-
I was a big boy. Like, there's no getting around
But it's
that.
not,
I was a big
it was
boy.
not like, hey, look at that fat guy. It was like, look at that
no, it
big...
was. It was.
It was like, look at that big motherfucker. Like,
It
wasn't
was
like,
look
you
at
know.
that big fat guy. He looks tough, or he's still cute, but he's still fat. Like, let's not get that twisted.
Wait, but
He
was
fat.
it-
Wait. We have one more
Facts,
introduction.
but facts know about your name. True or false? Because
Yes.
at one
Yes,
point,
yes.
because I would also love to clear up some rumors.
Oh.
Of stuff.
Hold on, what?
But it was either Carson Daly or Jimmy Kimmel or one of the bigger names.
No, right here. You
that
see the-
gave
It says,
you
Oh, you
whoever
see.
making contact is up here.
They're
It
the
says
ones
they're
that
the
say
one.
they gave you the name. In the
Who is
chat,
it?
we got a chat going on, and making contact says he gave.
We're not
Oso
even
the
done with
name.
introductions yet.
I know. Hey, you know.
If that's Christian, I was just gonna get to that. If that's OG fucking OLD Christian, then yes, he's the one that gave me the name.
All right.
Because it was, I had worn a Cochino shirt, a shirt that just said Cochino.
Uh-huh.
It was a softball team I played on. I thought, oh, this is funny for a fucking interview. So I wore that to my interview. And my first shift, right when I walked in, Smiley looked at OLD and goes, what's his nickname? And he goes, I don't know, Cochino or Oso? And he goes, you know how our schedules had 3 letters?
Yeah.
He goes, Oso fits on the schedule. It's fucking Oso. So it was Smiley. I mean, Smiley made the last call, but it was Christian. I think that.
And he
was-
says that is him right there.
Oh
so
shit, OLD, what the fuck? Damn, dude, I miss you, bro.
I'll tell
bringing
you,
people together.
I'll tell you one thing. I can already tell that this episode's gonna go everywhere. It's gonna be
It's chaos.
It's already
Yeah,
chaos.
it's gonna be tough because
Just
there's
like the
too
job.
much.
Just
Yeah.
like the job was.
Michelle, we have another introduction.
Last but certainly not
Yeah.
least.
Never the
Please
least.
also don't hog the mic, bro.
Hey, I was getting asked a question. I was just trying to answer.
So my name is Michelle, aka Red. There's no.
I don't know if I knew your name was Michelle until right
I know.
now.
Everyone knows me as Red. Just
There
the
are
same
band.
thing.
There are bands named after this
There
girl.
is. There is.
Red Star.
Red Star. There is a band that was named after my last name.
I was just gonna say, don't even ask how she got the name Red, bro.
Yeah.
It was a crazy night. We don't have time. We don't have
Oh,
time.
man.
It's its own episode.
Also known as the Indonesian princess.
All right.
That's what's
And
up.
it ain't party till I start crying.
That is true.
Which is every time there's a party, so you're guaranteed there's a
Yeah,
party.
it's not a party till Red starts crying. That was the motto for
That was
many
the
years.
motto. That was the
Yeah.
motto.
You would be crying, and then like you realize we'd all realize, hey, you're crying.
Yeah,
You're like,
And she would literally sometimes be sitting like on the grass and start cheering like that.
Yeah.
And tears would just turn to a smile and we're like, yeah, Michelle's crying, Red's crying.
Yep.
So why would you be crying at every
Yeah.
show?
I
Again.
may or may not have one too many drinks.
Yeah, she's a crying drunk.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
It was just crying, always
just
crying.
drunk.
But I
Crying,
like.
crying for happy, sad, it didn't
It
matter.
was
Just
just matter,
crying.
just crying.
Crying drunk, pass out drug user. Like Michelle just was not built for fucking
Party,
nothing
yeah.
like that.
For
And
life.
she had
I'm
the
the
worst
Indian- yeah.
life for that at that time because that's all we fucking did was party.
I mean, I'm the Indonesian princess. I'm very,
Fragile. She's fragile.
Delicate.
Fragile.
Yeah.
You know, I will say though, like you hear that and you're like, oh, dude, this chick sounds like drama. Like Red was never drama. Though.
No,
like,
never once.
There was like
No.
drama in her life,
No,
but
no,
like
no.
it literally was like it's not a party until Red starts crying. And then like in your head, if you don't know her, you're thinking, oh, dude, why would I want to party with some chick that
Yeah.
start crying?
Who's this
Like,
lame
no.
broad that's gonna fucking cry?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because no matter what, like even if she's crying, you're like, you're out of, and then she'll be like, yeah. Like so, yeah, no, it's all good.
Red's just emotional, and when you're drunk, your emotions are
I mean,
just heightened.
Yeah.
You know, so you just reach.
we were there
different
when
levels.
emo music was.
Yeah, at its height.
Yes.
At its fucking peak. Yeah, for sure.
Well, we want to thank everyone because I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be wild. I'm interested to hear all the stories. I've been a fan of KROQ for a long time. I attended all the free things there were to go do, from the KROQ signings to the meet and greets to
Trying to meet Morrissey outside of
Yeah,
the studio.
fuck you,
and also
Oso.
fucking stole him away.
Hey, I did what I was told to do.
all of a sudden, like a
honestly-
soldier, like a soldier.
honestly,
So did the
one of
Nazis.
the
So
fucking-
did the Nazis.
Yeah.
one of the greatest fucking days of my life because the morning show fucking called ahead of time like, hey, we want to make fun of you and like you're a big old fucking fat Mexican, pierced,
loves
tattooed,
Morrissey.
and who loves Morrissey. We're gonna have him on tomorrow. I'm like, all right, right on. So they have me on. They do
Wait,
that
were
thing.
you that cool about it? All right, cool. I'll be there.
Hey, dog, I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. This one was crying. homie.
Oh no, we'll get to that for
Oh,
sure.
no,
I
I'm
was.
talking about the night
saying, yeah,
before.
because it
No.
was lightning. So yeah, I was
played it
cool. I was like,
cool?
yeah, all right,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Maybe not crying, but like you can see like the.
Oh,
I
for
love
sure,
Morrissey.
for sure. So we get there in the morning. They do their thing, whatever, and then it's like I'm in there with them. Morrissey's in the green room, and they're like, okay, Oso, and I'm like, I'm not fucking going anywhere. You're crazy if you think I'm not meeting Morrissey. So Kevin from Kevin and Bean goes, dude, you'll meet Morrissey, but you got to go out first. I'm like, fucking Kevin, don't fuck me. He's like, I won't. Oso, you'll
Don't
meet
fuck
him.
me.
So they put me in the green room and walk fucking Morrissey by me, take him in the studio. He does his interview. The first break of it, I go in the commercial, and they introduce me, and the first thing he starts talking about is my plugs and how he loves Roseanne, and I'm like, what the fuck? So we're just having this random ass conversation, and then
Roseanne, the TV show?
yes, Roseanne the TV show, the old school ass version of Roseanne.
Just confirming.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's what I
100%.
thought.
I'm all like, yeah, like that's a normal thing to say nowadays, Roseanne.
I was with you. I was like,
I didn't just fucking date myself, did I? So, they're gonna do the second break. So they walk me out, and the security goes, "Hey," or his label people goes, "Hey, there's like 100 people outside that want autographs, and he wants to sign, but we didn't bring security." you're a big dude. Would you be his, like, they didn't have to finish. I'm like, yeah, I'll be his fucking, you're out like childhood fucking, like, Morrissey security guard.
Like, can I do this full time?
Yeah,
Can you just hire me for
I'll live at the pad. Like, I know I'm married, but I don't give a fuck. Like, I'll live in the front yard. Just pitch me a tent, whatever.
And then I'll go vegan, whatever I can do.
So I'm right next to him, right? And we start right at the gate. They open the gates and they're letting people in. We had been at the radio, so you see people freak out a lot. Not like that. Morrissey freak out levels are different freak out levels, right? For real. So he's in line. We're at the front of the gate. People are in line. And as people are coming in, he's getting more and more annoyed and more like aware. Yes, and aware of the situation, right? So we're getting further and further back into the parking lot of KROQ, and then finally some girl's there, and she's fucking freaking out, and she goes to put her cell phone right in his face and says, "Here, talk to my friend." And he's like, "What?" And she goes, "Talk to my friend." And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and he was like, you could tell, like he was really agitated. I go, "Are you done?" He goes, "Yeah, I'm done." And I go, "That's it." And if you could have seen, there was only probably like 20 more people in line that now aren't gonna get the autograph.
Yeah.
And Mario was
Mario's number one.
I was right behind that stupid fucking bitch. Fuck that bitch.
She did kill it because he was tolerating
the bullshit.
Yeah, he was, because everyone, they were hyped more until they got to him. You could, like, it was weird to see people try to contain it. But they were like, "Oh my God, oh my," it's like, dude, it's fucking guy. Like, yeah, I get it's Morrissey, and like, I'm stoked to be here. Like, don't get me wrong.
I was crying 10 minutes ago.
I was just gonna say,
you guys know what I'm talking. I mean, like,
he
they're
was
the
wearing
ones
a
like
fucking
scratching
diaper.
skin, like,
because he pissed his pants meeting him.
it was a trip.
He's like, "Come on, guys, be cool."
Yeah, be cool. Yeah.
While he's trying to hide his boner and shit.
That was, I don't know. I think Michelle brought my greatest KROQ moment ever, though. It was Inland Invasion, where we did like 80s bands for whatever fucking reason.
Great year.
It was rad. And we're at the Ontario Hilton. Like, now, mind you, and I think we've all talked about this before. We might have talked about it on here, but this is where you take fucking prostitutes or your side chick. Like, you don't fucking... Okay, let me just get there. So we're staying
this
at
is a great story. Sorry,
we're at the Ontario Hilton, right? So it's about 2:30 in the morning. I barely get back to my room. It's been a fucking 20-hour day, whatever it's been. I fucking lay down. I take my clothes off, my shoes off, and my phone rings, and I pick it up, and Michelle goes, "Oh, so meet me in your elevator, like right in front of your elevator." I go, "Fuck, Michelle, it's 2:30. I'm done. Like, I'm not partying no more." She goes, "No, the Cure is in Dave, King of Mexico Dave, in his room." And I said, "No, bullshit. The Cure, one, is not at the Ontario. Yeah. That's number one. They're not even here at this fucking hotel.
And
two,
if they were,
they're not in fucking Dave's room. Who, granted, Dave had more pull than us, so he had a bigger room. He didn't have a suite, but he had a room with no roommate, right? Dave didn't have a roommate. He had his own room. So I'm like, they're not in his room. And she goes, "I swear to you, Oso, they are. Don't do this. You're gonna be mad. Fucking meet me in the elevator, right?" Yeah. So Michelle fucking comes down. I'm like, "Michelle, if you're lying to me, I'm gonna be fucking pissed.
I'm gonna kill you." Yeah.
So right when we walk in, we open the door, and the first person we see, like, chilling on Dave's bed is Lisa Warden. Now, Lisa Warden is a somebody. At that time, even was a fucking player in radio. For her to be in Dave's room at now 2:45 in the morning, I'm like, holy shit.
The Cure is here.
The Cure might really fucking be here. So we walk in, and we had this homie that was a phone op, Dustin. You remember Dustin?
Yeah.
He says, "Hey, Dick, he's on the balcony. You have your cigarettes?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "Let's go out there." I go, "You don't smoke?" He goes, "I do right now." I go, "All right." So we walk out there, and he's out there on the balcony with these three big goth girls, like full fucking goth girls, right? And I'm lighting a cigarette. I'm just watching out of the corner of my eye. And he says something, and they kneel down and start spit shining his fucking boots.
What the fuck?
And I look at Dustin.
All three of them.
You've never heard this?
No, I never heard about
All
that.
three of them.
Yes. And I look at Dustin, I'm like, am I stoned? Or is this dude getting his shit spit shined right here? And he goes, "Oh shit, they're spit shining his boots." I'm like, what the fuck? That's crazy, right? So he looks, and they fucking stand up. They're talking, whatever. He walks inside, and out of nowhere, he just says, "Who would like to hear some piano?"
Shut the fuck up.
We're in a room of about how many people were in there, Michelle?
Like maybe 10, 15. It was pretty crowded.
Yeah, 15, 20 of us. I don't know. Yeah, like around that.
Yeah.
And so we're like, yeah, me.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
like,
want to hear
yeah.
some piano. So there was a piano in the fucking lobby of the Ontario Hilton. So we're 3 a.m. now.
That's where I joined this.
Okay,
Okay, so
yeah,
go on.
yeah.
Say your side.
So I wasn't cool enough to be invited to Dave's right? But you know, like I'm
Michelle knew she was fulfilling a childhood dream.
No,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I was also like, you know, like I was fucking getting drunk and stuff, and you know, like I was like the the B team, whatever, right? So then, but I'm in the lobby anyway, and then all of a sudden, like I see like this entourage approach, and then we all just like, I'm like, that's Robert Smith, and then we all just begin to like sit like Indian style, like little kids.
Yeah.
While he plays
And
the fucking
staggered along the stairway.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
It
while
was
he
fucking
plays piano,
rad.
and I was just like, what the fuck is happening?
And like for someone like my age, not that it didn't mean something for you,
Absolutely,
but
yeah,
like there are
absolutely,
some
yeah.
people right now, this story doesn't mean shit to you. Who the fuck's Robert Smith? Like the
Yeah,
Cure
yeah,
assholes, look it up. Like for someone like me though, like I don't know if I could have picked someone more than Robert Smith for that moment. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I was just like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And there was a fucking, remember the maid?
The maid, yeah.
And so I jogged over and I'm like, please, you
She's
don't
vacuuming.
understand. Please stop vacuuming.
Yeah.
And she was like,
She's like,
oh,
eh?
what?
What?
¿Qué? And I'm like, no.
Roberto,
no.
¿qué?
And she's like, oh, okay. And I'm like, he's playing piano. And she's like,
¿Qué
okay.
oso? ¿Qué hago?
There was
So we
even
went
like
back.
there's even the way it was set up too. There was
Yeah.
balconies.
Yeah.
I was on
People,
one of those
like,
Yeah,
balconies.
people
Yeah.
were like,
balconies,
people were like,
and
what the
so
fuck's going
what's
on?
going
Yeah.
on? So there was
yeah.
even like balcony seating.
And it's just, like
Yeah.
Robert Smith playing piano
At
at 3
3 o'clock in the
a.m.
morning.
at the
Yeah.
Ontario
And
Hilton.
I love
Yeah.
how we all have different like versions
Yeah.
and timelines because
Right.
I got a call that he was up in Dave's room and I was already headed to Dave's room and I don't remember who it was that called me, but I had like beers in my hands. Like I was
Party
the
in a
asshole
box.
party in
In
a
a
box.
box.
I was the asshole that brought a speaker and beers
Yeah.
at all the hotel parties and stuff. And like I walk into Dave's room like, yeah, what's up, fuckers? Like, yeah. And everyone's like
Hey,
all
we're gothing
serious.
here right now,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
We're goth.
Totally.
Like fucking.
Totally. And I'm like, what? Like, what? And they're like, no, seriously, he's in here. And as I'm like walking in, everyone starts like walking out. And I'm like, oh, I'm the asshole. I like broke up the party. And then I'm not even joking, dude. Like they walk out and like Oso said, they walk down.
Yeah.
And then it was like fucking Pied Piper, right? Like it's like
Yeah, it
everyone
was. It
following
totally
him.
was.
Yeah.
And then he goes and he sits down and like for those of you that know, like this is gonna make sense, and those that don't know, when they do Google Robert Smith, they're gonna be like, "What the fuck?" But yeah, he walks over and he sits down, and his hair is all crazy,
Yeah.
and everyone's all quiet. And,
Yeah.
like he sits down, he starts playing a couple things, and not even it's not like fucking he busted out Mozart or anything. He was
Yeah.
like, "Ding." And everyone's like, oh my god, you know. And then he started like going into some stuff, but you know, and it was
I'm
it
not
was a
gonna-
really really.
I
cool
might have had a
moment.
boner.
Yeah.
I might have had a boner.
It was a cool moment. But
So
it's
this
like,
episode is called Oso's Boners, right?
That's what most episodes should be called.
I will tell you this episode 90 on the West Coast Pop Lock Podcast, hanging out with all of Steve's playmates and co-workers from the radio land, from the good old days. Fuck, man, I can't even imagine like get a call, go to come to this room. Robert Smith is here, being spit shined by some goth girls with their fucking tears of sadness, and I'm pretty sure those tears of sadness made that shit fucking shine like a motherfucker.
They
Like
were
I
happy to
just
do
want to
it.
know whose idea it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
is this
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
Robert Smith going, yo, fat bitches, fucking get out there, shine up these fucking boots?
I often
Or-
wondered, was it like just to see like what can you get away with? Like what can
Sure,
you make
it's
people
either
do?
that or one of these kinky ass broads that
Yeah.
was like, yo, can we
From
please?
having been there on the balcony, I put my money on the second. That it was
that they were
yeah.
like, yo, can we please
Shine your fucking
your
shoes.
boots? And he was like, I guess.
Yeah.
And while I'm doing it, he's like, who wants to hear piano? So I get away from from these
honestly,
broads,
I think
man.
because after that, like the vibe even on that balcony got weird.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like they're fucking spit shining your boots.
That's my
bro.
goal.
Like,
My goal now in life is to be on a balcony somewhere and go be like, oh, so come here, watch this.
Yeah.
All right, bitches, get to it.
You know what you're here to do.
Get to it. So you watch.
Hey, I hope you have the
Then I'm gonna go play piano. I'm gonna play piano after this.
If you're like, get to it, they might do something else.
Yeah,
Right. Too, man.
But I hope you have the login for the live stream. So that, you're like, it's coming true.
It's in the OnlyFans.
So going around the table, I mean, how many years were you guys at KROQ? Just out of curiosity.
I think I was there 5 or 6 years.
Oh, that's a good amount of time.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
Like around 99.
Wait, what year did you start?
99.
That's when we
Weenie
started?
Roast 99 was our first,
Yeah.
like, around that time, yeah.
That was a good year.
Yeah.
That was a good year.
Yeah.
And that's what we always talk about. Like we were talking about this just a little bit earlier. When we got hired, it was totally out of the norm for when KROQ hired van drivers
Yeah.
because a street team, they had gone out and partied and left all their fucking shit in the box truck. They left like cases of fucking empty beer bottles, fucking, you know, it smelled like weed, just reeked of a party. And that morning, they thought they'd get there early enough, clean up their mess, and it just so happened out of fucking nowhere, Amy, not even Aisa,
What?
Amy decided to do a vehicle
Amy was
check.
like the head boss.
Yeah,
Ooh.
like she ran all of promo, so that like the buck stopped with her, and she on her own decided to look in the car. She opens it up, smells like fucking puke, weed, beer, and she said, "Who worked last night? Who was on this crew?" And it was a bunch of people. It was a big gig, and she said, "Fired, all of you. You're
Yeah.
gone."
Wow.
And you're just gone.
So,
Your
yeah.
boy OLD, I don't think I knew him, but he's saying shh.
Hey, bro, there's no
I'll stop with
names.
that.
There's no names, and you made it through that.
He made it through.
You made it through
By the
OLD.
way,
Yeah.
Ousted.
I was talking because me and Steve were talking about all this stuff, and I was like, "Yo, man, we're gonna have to do like a disclaimer
I
at the
was gonna
beginning and be
say.
like,
Dude.
some of these names and places may have been changed."
I thought the same thing. I'm
And-
like, well, what's the statute of limitations? Because like we all kind
Dude,
of.
Crime.
And
Okay,
I
so
will
then,
say,
so
there
then
was-
our promo boss, who will now remain nameless,
No.
fired them all, right? So when we got hired, a lot of people when they get hired to KROQ,
It
it's a
takes
long
a
ass
while.
process. They don't get called. Like Jenner was telling us, like he had to call them. Like we interviewed and got
It's
hired
like
within a week.
Yeah.
And when we started, we would go on gigs alone without someone
Because
that had done it before.
Because everybody
there was
was
like
gone.
I think there was like 8 people left, so they hired like 15 of us.
Yeah.
So there was more of us than them. So there'd be days where there wasn't enough of them because of their availability to be there on those days. So there would be days where like, fuck, you guys are going to a fucking sticker hit together. We're like, all right, cool, later. Like, fucking, you know. But I think it actually worked out better
I
because,
think so.
like we were saying this weekend, we didn't know we could fuck around yet.
Yeah.
And there was no
Sure.
one showing us we could fuck around.
Sure.
Like when Jenner came, if he was with me and Michelle and we were going somewhere, Jenner learned like, oh, we smoke weed.
All the
She
bad
drives
shit.
us to a
Yeah.
food place and then we go kick it. Like
Yeah.
that's you know what I mean?
Or
Like if it was a
yeah.
sticker hit, if it was a sticker hit,
or we go
like,
to
I mean,
Backside and
yeah.
you know, get some
or
lunch money.
Amoeba or whatever. Like
Lunch
you know?
Wait, can I take
Damn.
I'm gonna take a quick second though for anyone that is listening. Like, so the job overall, when we say van
Yeah.
drivers, when we
yeah.
say KROQ
Sure,
promo and all
let's
that,
do that.
our job was basically to go out and tell people about KROQ, pass out
Moving
stickers.
billboard is what I was always
Yeah,
told. You're a
moving
moving billboard.
So they created these things called sticker hits, right? So KROQ as a company wouldn't pay for billboards. So their theory on it was, let's put them in the vehicles and have them drive all around the cities, and that's exposing the KROQ as the truck and all that. And then it's giving people that interaction, right? Like passing out stickers, getting
But yeah,
t-shirts
you
out.
can't
like,
get the name out when you're parked at Fritz, original
Right,
Fritz and
right,
Bellflower
right.
having
Or
beers.
in my
But-
garage in my apartment.
Yeah.
But this is what I'm saying. Like people are like, if people are wondering, like they keep talking about sticker hits, like, yo, this is no bullshit. A part of our job was to sit in a car for 6 to 8 hours.
You would show up and you'd get your little one sheet and it
Yeah.
would say Tilly's West Covina.
right.
Okay. And you drive and park in front of fucking Tilly's with a giveaway bin and try to hand out stickers and keychains.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Or there was times where you had no destination.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
just go drive up and down
Drive
the
the beach.
605
Yeah, that's where they
freeway.
wind up at
or
the
hit the
tattoo shop.
beach.
That's where you guys wind up parked in front of
exactly.
the tattoo shop.
But
Yeah.
then, like,
You know?
see, like, that leads into, like, more amazing stories, too, because I remember there'd be days like that, and it'd be, like, a party weekend, Memorial weekend, or 4th of
Yeah.
July weekend.
Oh, yeah.
And we'd always hit, like, Hermosa or those
Yeah.
beach areas where
Yeah,
they're
we
really
see Mr.
tight.
Brad and stuff.
Yeah,
at his house.
sometimes, or
Yeah.
some, like, we would just literally park and someone would see the car and they'd invite you into their party.
Yeah.
Smoke you out, give you fucking
Newport
food,
was good about
send
that,
you
yeah.
with beer. Yeah,
Yeah,
like you would just
Newport.
drive around their little neighborhoods. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, we're getting fucking paid right now.
Right.
Like we weren't getting paid a lot, and they
You
knew
still-
that.
you're
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
paid.
Which is why I think when it was cool, they let you be cool.
Yeah.
Like they knew you could show up. Like the minute you showed up to one of those parties, they're calling their friends, "Yo, Dick,
Right.
K-Rock's
Yeah.
here." They didn't give a fuck that it was Oso and Red from K-Rock.
Yeah.
They're telling their friends K-Rock's here.
Right.
And when their friends got there, the K-Rock fucking truck was there, and we're passing out fucking hoodies.
Dude,
Right.
So like you're like bigger than you really are. Like
Right,
you're
just
nobody, but
from-
for that moment you're fucking chilling. Like you're getting taken care of.
Hell yeah.
Like that was the perk of the job. That's why they didn't pay you well, because they knew I'll
were
replace
getting-
you
They
right
didn't
now.
pay you well?
Like I'll replace you right now.
That's awkward.
And people were stoked. People
Yeah,
were stoked.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
when you guys would come to the shop, park out front and give out whatever, people would talk about that for like days afterwards. Hey, I saw what was up. I drove by here and the K-Rock truck was here. What was up with
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
It's like, oh, this is my
The
friends. that
best
come-
was when you guys
Yeah.
opened that shop Por Vida in what was that, Pomona?
Oh,
or whatever
when
it
Nick was working out in Upland. Yeah,
Upland.
yeah.
And that you guys did that opening, and these guys came down. You hooked up a bunch of giveaways. Remember, and fucking
Yeah.
Cody said anyone that's willing to get a chili dog or tribal on their face doesn't
Dude.
have to wait in line.
Oh, I forgot
And
about
that dude
that
came in and
fucking
got tribal
line.
sideburns, and we're all trying to fucking hold it in. And then the minute he walked out, we fucking lost our shit. Cody put sideburns all down his face in tribal.
I've completely
Oh,
forgot
wow.
about that.
That was
Hey,
That's
funny.
but
right.
this,
That
but
was
this
a
is what I will
long-ass
say
line.
though, man. Like honestly, like okay, this is a bunch of old folks in here now talking about the good old K-Rock days, but like K-Rock, and I was having this conversation recently, but at that time, and even though it wasn't that long ago, but K-Rock was a thing here in Southern California that defined who you were.
Sure.
K-Rock was
for
its
sure,
own image. K-Rock was its own thing. I mean, when we were in high school and college and whatever, it's like if you were a K-Rocker, like that was who you were, and you associated and affiliated with other people. Like dude, that's how like you would like meet chicks or dudes or whatever sometimes, like, oh yeah, on K-Rock, or you talk about a Kevin and Bean thing. Like I went to art school in Long Beach, and most of the people that I met there in school was because we would talk about Kevin and Bean stuff in the morning. Like,
Sure.
oh, did you listen to what Kevin and
Yeah,
Bean said this
totally.
morning or whatever? Like it was the thing that like made you kind of like you know, notice like, oh, okay, you're one of my people.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
It was a culture here in Southern California. So that's why like
And the jocks played into it. The on-air talent. I remember we'd be out and Sluggo would like he'd see me and Sam working together, and he'd be like, "Oh shit,
Yeah.
fuck, streets, be careful, fucking these two stoners are gonna be fucking driving around." And so you know when you drove around on a sticker hit, you'd always have the station on or
Yeah.
whatever. And he'd fucking shout you out like, "Hey, if you guys are out, be careful. Oso and fucking Sam are driving around. You know those two stoners are gonna fucking whatever, you know, whatever he'd say."
Yeah.
And like they made you feel like it was just a different love. Like it was.
And the crazy part is that people would come up to you and be like, "Are
Yeah,
you
yeah,
also?"
yeah.
And you were like, "Fuck, that's crazy."
I
how
remember
powerful that shit
Stryker
was.
getting me to sign autographs of that fucking stupid CD that my fat ass was on, and making me sign autographs. And I'm like, dude, I don't want to sign autographs. He's like, Dick, fucking dude, all these fucking people want your autograph. Sign it. And I'm like, fuck. First couple, I'm all dumb. Then I'm like, hey, who do you want me to make it out to? I'm like taking 5 minutes. Yeah, I hope you have a great night. Fucking blah, blah, blah. Keep in touch. Fucking, here's my MySpace. Fucking
have a bitch in summer.
Yeah.
I mean,
I still have my signed copy by the way.
Yeah,
The thing
it's
is
worth
that-
money now. I looked it up. Check it up on eBay. If you're ever hurting, you get in a pinch, you can sell.
Okay, thank you.
Here's the thing, though, man. Like, I grew up in the barrio, and even going to like the swamp meet, it was like K-Rock flashbacks. It was like you can
Yeah,
get
yeah.
CDs, you know, that people were
CDs.
making
Yeah.
of a DJ with DJ. He would put like, freestyle, hip hop, K-Rock flashbacks.
Yeah,
So, like,
that's what it was called.
Yeah,
Like the whole
right.
style of music was called K-Rock Flashback.
yeah.
Dude, I
so-
just saw
so,
a
yeah.
flyer the other day that said something about that. Like
Yeah.
K-Rock, I think it was like that 90s house parties page or Nela TV or whatever, said something like K-Rock flashbacks party or something.
Yeah.
And I was like,
So
yeah, they're keeping it
was
alive.
it was a part of the culture. It was ingrained. You know what I'm saying? So no
Yeah.
matter where you were, like my sister listened to that. That's how
Yeah.
I got into
Yeah.
it. You know.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a part of Southern California.
Yeah.
And it's an institution here for
It's
sure.
It's interesting like to hear this because like when I got the job, it was like a dream job, and like I was too young. I was 20 years old when I got hired, so it was like I didn't realize like the culture, like what it meant at that time. I didn't appreciate it at the time. I was just like, yeah, I got a fucking job at K-Rock, but that job was a dream job. It was, we got to go to shows.
Yeah.
and we went on sticker hits, but we also like learned a lot of like good skills. Like we like
Absolutely.
That's what people. I don't think
like,
that was
no.
the training ground.
Totally,
No,
absolutely.
honestly,
That's where
Gladiator
labels
school.
went.
Yeah.
That's where
Absolutely.
labels went
Yeah.
to find their next. Well, they went to KROQ first.
Yeah, I wouldn't be where I'm at now if it wasn't for
Yeah.
KROQ. Like
Yeah.
where I'm
And
at,
I had
it's
other
like,
opportunities. I've
Yeah.
since left that whole industry, unlike some other people that are here tonight. But I had opportunities always because of it. Like
Yeah.
always, while I was in it, I got to work at a couple record labels that I could have stayed at, chose not to. But those opportunities all came 100%.
Yeah.
Like I met my first boss at my first label. My interview was at Acoustic Christmas. It was backstage at Acoustic Christmas.
And KROQ's the reason that the West Coast Pop Lock Podcast is the #1 podcast every Tuesday night.
Okay, best shows that you saw.
We'll start with.
Oh man, no, get to me.
We'll go to
Like,
Jenner.
Yeah. I
We'll
get
go
it.
to
Give me
Jenner.
some
We'll go to
time.
Jenner.
I'm only going to say this real quick because
Yeah,
you can
go.
think for a second and it's topical because me and my son just had this conversation. They're not my favorite band. It might seem odd to these people that I'm going to say this, but Metallica at Weenie Roast at Irvine Meadows was one of the greatest performances I've ever seen in my life. They had a full-size fucking helicopter. We were talking about it because of Stranger Things, my son and my daughter. And I'm like, they had a full-size fucking helicopter. You remember that shit?
No, I don't think I was
wasn't not there.
Yeah, I
Oh
wasn't
fuck!
there.
You know me? Oh fuck! I guess I'm the old one. And the fucking helicopter somehow they had it on some fucking lift, and it comes down, and they have fucking explosions going off.
What the
and
fuck?
Hatfield's playing guitar and singing and giving people high fives at the same fucking time. And I'm like, how do you do that? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how are you that good? Like, and they're just flawless. Like the energy they brought that night. Like that was one of my favorite shows. Like from work. Like there's other shows I love more than
that's tough.
that we just went to. But like as far as a work show, that one was pretty
yeah.
dope.
I mean, I guess as far as a work show, oh man, I mean there was
Every rage show.
like
Yeah, I was
there-
gonna say Rage.
every Rage show.
At the,
I will say there
Yeah.
there was one acoustic Christmas. It was probably might have been my first one, where it was like a medley with Beck, Coldplay, Dashboard, and like the Flaming Lips were the backup band. Do you remember that?
I think so.
Yeah, like it was like this weird like experience where like surreal experience where that only like KROQ radio shows did, where like everyone got on stage. And it was like
Where that's the only time some of those artists ever had that opportunity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because people that have never been backstage and then have never been to our backstage of a show like that don't realize the energy from that second gate, like where VIP ends and where working begins.
Yeah.
People don't know what that energy is like in those narrow hallways, and every room is, fucking No Doubt and fucking Deftones, and it's just, you're like, damn.
You're playing dice with Mike Ness.
Yeah.
You're-
Or even like
Yeah.
speaking of playing piano, Moby was playing
Yes,
piano
that was
in
so
the green
dope.
room too. And like
we
one
were
of
in
the
there. It was
hallway.
me and Curtis,
Yeah.
and he walks in, and Curtis, you guys remember Curtis? He looks at him, he goes, "What's up, Moby?" Right? That's just how he is. And so he looks and he goes, "I was just looking at your piano," and he
Yeah.
goes, "Oh, if you want to play it, go ahead." And he goes, "Oh, you don't mind?" We're like, "Yeah, no fucking way do we mind if Moby sits down and play piano." We're like, "Well, no, go ahead." So he sits down, he starts playing. So people are walking in, and everyone that's walking in is think they're walking in a production. So they're
Yeah.
loud as fuck. Oh, and then I fucking told oh, shit, that's fucking Moby.
Yeah.
You gotta say what's up to Fernando.
I was
Chavez
just gonna
and-
say, Fern
Yeah, what up, Fern Dog?
Hey, I got a quick Fern Dog story.
No secrets,
I should
Fern
have
Dog.
asked.
I got a Fern Dog story. Fern Dog and I was on the sticker here with Fern Dog, and we went out to Huntington Beach, and that's when Bald Brad lived out there, and he took us drinking. We drank so fucking much, dude. I go to the restroom, come back out. Fern Dog's on the bar, two chicks licking legs, pouring drinks. I'm like, what? I'm new, dude. So I'm going like,
Not Fern Dog. FC.
not Fern
FC.
Dog. Yeah.
Initials.
Yeah, somebody else.
Person that looked like him.
It was Curtis.
I have to drive us to the gas station to get gas, right? And I'm gonna use the restroom, and Fernando goes, "Oh, let me go first." Opens the door and pukes on all of the restroom, everything, walls, everywhere. I'm like, "Oh."
And wanted to go first.
Okay,
Let
wait.
me go first.
Okay, wait.
Thanks, Fern Dog.
I see Steve's fucking Fern Dog story, and I'm gonna raise it. So we're in Havasu. They send us to Havasu. Literally, they give us our general manager's card and say, "Go rent a fucking room." We're like, "They're sold out." They're like, "Figure it the fuck out. You have a credit card with no limit. Figure it out. Rent a boat and blow it up." We're like, "Okay, like what the fuck?" So we drive out there. We fucking Fern Dog's with us. This fool partied so hard that whole fucking day. Like, all you would do is pull up on a pontoon boat with a sound system in it and a generator in the middle of the fucking bay, just blasting music like you're on fucking land. You're not. You're on a fucking boat. And Fern Dog's just partying all day. Me and Curtis are doing all the work, right? Fern Dog's partying, drinking, whatever. We get back. Fern Dog keeps partying, drinking, going hard. About 4 a.m, I fall asleep. I wake up. I look in the restroom. Fern Dog's passed out on the toilet seat with fucking throw up dribbling out his mouth onto the seat like that, like he's napping on it, right? And I come in and wash my hands so it wakes him up, and he's like, oh, fuck. He wipes his face, washes his mouth, walks over to the ice chest, grabs a big old bottle of rum he had, takes a chip and opens a beer, and I'm like, you fucking sick motherfucker. And then he did it again all fucking day. All day. That day. And I'm talking, Johnny, like 9 a.m. drinking.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
after drinking all night.
River rat drinking. Like fucking white people drinking.
Yeah.
Right?
That's really what it is.
Yeah,
sure.
it is, dude. Like, you know, like where you
White
swim
people
in. White people swim in the same water they pee in.
Dude,
like, go to the river, they piss, and then they jump in. Like, Dick, you just pissed right there.
When Oso says white people, like the venom. You know what I mean? This fool's like white people.
White boy shit at the river. You know. Hey, but I will say though, okay, Fern Dog, I know he's on, but Fern Dog taught me everything I know as a van driver. And straight up, like one of my very first day, like very first time working with him, he was like, here's how you're going to do this. Here's how you set up a tent. Here's how you fold it. Yeah. Here's how you fold the table cover. Here's how you put the tents. Like, here's everything, right? Like, he showed me, like, the exact proper way to do it. Yeah. You got this down? Yeah, I got it. All right, cool. Because from now on, you're going to do all of it. And I was just like, no, dude, for real. I was like, hey, I had mad respect.
But that's what I was kind of saying earlier. Like KROQ taught you, like, from the people who were like the OGs that like taught you, like, there's people that really did work and did good work. Yeah. And then, but to do that in the surroundings and the temptation of like getting fucked up, here all your favorite bands are all around you, like. I've seen so many people get fired. Yeah. Like, KROQ was a place where, like, oh, shit, this is work. This is not, like, you know what I mean? Like, and that taught me a lot. Like, it helped me, like, down the line for sure.
Yeah. And being able to, like, party and do your
stuff.
And whatever. Dude,
like, man, I remember party and get the job done. Yeah. That's a rare thing to learn. And KROQ did that.
It was hard to get fired. If you got fired, you're an idiot.
I mean,
you were
because everyone's done some crazy dirt, some crazy shit.
Yeah.
If you got fired, they were just aiming for you since day one. They made a mistake hiring
I got fired for about an hour.
We pretty much all did.
The day I threw all those fucking boxes of like signs for some
Coachella, right?
No, for some WWE wrestling thing. We were leaving the pond.
Oh, the flyers.
Posters.
Posters.
And Smiley told me, don't bring those back. And I'm like, okay, but there's a lot of them, bro. We might not hand that many out. And he goes, don't bring those back. All right, I got you. Don't bring them back. So on the way back, I'm like, hey, Dick, we still got like 30 boxes of these shits. We got to throw them away. Somebody don't want them. So we just go to some random dumpster right next to the station like an idiot. I got the days wrong. I thought their pickup was that following morning. It was like Sunday night. I'm like, okay, we dump them all fucking early in the morning. They pick it up. No one will be that mad. It wasn't that day, so they were fucking pissed. So they opened one up, saw KROQ on it, called Smiley. Smiley lets Amy know. Amy calls me, and I'm not gonna tell her. Somebody told me to get rid of them all, so I just fucking bite the bullet. I'm like, it was me. Everyone on the fucking in the van did what I said. She's like, you're not their boss. I go, I was at that event. I go, Smiley wasn't there, so they were listening to me. I told him I talked to him. He said get rid of him. I didn't want to bring him back. So then Smiley fessed up and said, no, I kind of might have fucking misled him. And she goes, why didn't you just tell me that? Because they had me sitting outside waiting to decide if like she's like, as of right now, I'm gonna have to let you go. I don't have a choice. And she's like, I need you to wait outside. And I'm like, oh, fuck. This was still at the old KROQ, too.
Yeah, in Burbank.
So I go sit outside, and I light a cigarette, and I'm waiting. They call me back up. They're like, nah, Smiley told us that he might have led you, a different direction. Yeah, might have led you to think that you could get away with throwing those away, but those cost a lot of fucking money. Those were in a sales deal.
The cool thing about KROQ for me, too, is, like you just said, Fern Dog taught you the right way. And then he knew, hey, I'm OG, now it's your turn.
Yeah.
And the same thing with you also. Like
Yeah.
when we first got there, you hated me and Chuck because we were the morning show fags, or whatever you called us.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, these two idiots right here, you're at the morning show, you guys think you're cool. And then we went to work with you, and the first thing you said is,
people see you now, your nice little fucking mustache, your sunglasses. Get suave, right? But when you started with your fucking mop top and your fucking costume, I hated you. Opening shit with your mouth, right? Bottle
Shotgun, yeah.
Whatever the fuck you were doing, it was annoying the fuck out. It was white guy bullshit. And it bugged the shit out of me.
Hell yeah.
And the fact that like they come in on like a fucking Wednesday or some shit, right? Or Thursday. And that Friday we're leaving to Vegas. Now you got to earn
Still bitter.
You got to earn your way onto that shit. And these dudes just get put on it. Like, oh, like
well, we're morning show though. No, we were morning show, dog.
Wow, fuck, you
We're
were
morning
nothing.
show.
You were nothing to me
Morning
at that time. Nothing to me
Morning
at
show
that time.
time. And before we even got hired, I was working a microbrew, okay? And I was trying to be cool. We was like, hey, do you need help? He's like, get out of here. Because we weren't hired yet. We were still morning show guys.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we were
But-
going to help load up the box truck.
And then the thing
Yeah.
was, when we ended up going to a No Doubt concert at, I can't remember where
Gibson.
it was.
No, it was Gibson.
It was Gibson.
It was my very first crew was
Yes,
Gibson.
yes.
You're like, hey guys, grab the stuff.
Yeah.
And me and Chuck just grabbed it.
I was pissed because I had tickets to go see like a dope band that night, like Cursive or someone, and Smiley wouldn't let me have it off. And so I was in a shit mood
Still
already.
crying.
I didn't like them. I didn't like them. I'm like, I don't like them, and I got to go to No Doubt with them.
This
and
was
we
like
got mad set up.
25 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah,
For sure.
it still cuts deep, bro.
Hey man, that cursive show was dope though.
I don't know if Rodney or Rodney Wills from the last episodes, or, a while back, or Lightning talked about this, but like the other, one other quick thing I will say too. When we were kids, Super used to talk about how he was going to be on KROQ. And we were all like, fuck, whatever. It's so stupid, it's so stupid, And like he'd be like, no, one day I'm gonna be on KROQ. And like we were just like, whatever. And the crazy thing about how we even got on it was, so I worked at a magazine, and then and it's funny because when I was working at the magazine, I would go in there and be like, hey, have you guys listened to Lightning? Because it was an automotive magazine. And Lightning on KROQ, he's always talking about his cars. And our boss, Rodney, was like, oh, I know that guy. And we were like, no, you don't. Like, dude, whatever. And sure enough, like Rodney ran into Lightning at a show, and then Lightning like needed some work done, some graphic design work. So I was doing graphic design work for him. And then like Super and I, we were running, oddly enough, the company that I still own now. But he was working with me, and we were like doing a bunch of stuff. And like, it was just like, I mean, like I said, I've known Steve since I was born. Like he was my neighbor next door when I was a kid. So we just always like stuck together. And Lightning would like come over, and I would be designing stuff, and him and Steve would be talking, and like, dude, he just instantly fell in love with Steve. And I was talking to Lightning the day about it, and he was just like, yeah, I mean, dude, come on, big Mexican dude with an afro, like, dude, that was like the best thing that we needed on Kevin and Bean at the time. And so one morning, me, Super, and Steve's cousin Paul Perez, who was also like working with us at the time, we were driving to this little office that our company had. It was Boiler Room Creative, and we were like driving to our office, and Kevin and Bean were on the air talking about how they were getting rid of Big Tad and they needed a new morning show.
They had already got rid of him.
They had gotten rid of him.
New.
Yeah, and they were like, we're looking for someone, and Lightning said, oh yeah, we got this guy that we're gonna have come in for an interview, and we're gonna like interview this person on the air and whatever. They didn't say anything else, but Lightning told me that he was already thinking of Steve, but they talked about some other dude they were gonna hire. And we're driving, and I remember specifically, Paul was driving his truck, Steve was in the passenger seat, and I was in the back. It was one of those old S10s where you had to sit sideways in the back.
With the fold-out seat on the side, yeah.
It don't look like it now, but I was the skinniest one of the three. So like at that time, so I was like this in the back, and I was like, yo, Steve, I'm gonna hit up Lightning, because I was doing design work for him, so I knew him at the time, I was like, I'm gonna hit up dude, I'm getting you that job. And then, I don't know, we were just like, and I looked at the time, and it was like 8:30 or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I'll wait till he's off the air. And we go driving up the 91 freeway towards Bellflower, and my phone rings, and it's freaking Lightning. And he's like, yo, it's Jay, it's Lightning. And I'm like, yeah, what's up, dude? And he's like, what are you guys doing tomorrow? And I was like, coming to KROQ.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right, cool. Yeah, can you guys be here tomorrow at like 6:30 a.m. or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, definitely. And he goes, only one problem. And I was like, what's up? And he's like, I told Kevin and Bean that Super Steve is a big, giant Mexican dude with a huge afro. And I'm like, dude, Steve, because me and Steve both had afros at the time, and Steve had just cut his like 2 days before. And Lightning knew that too, and he was like, I know he just cut his hair, but
tease it up.
Yeah, he was like, is there anything you guys could do?
And we did.
So, yeah, I called up this old friend that we knew, Jane Centeno. Jane was doing hair at the time or whatever, and I was like, Jane, is there any way you could perm my boy's hair tonight? Like, can we come to your house and perm his hair?
Burned, homie. That shit
So
burned.
yeah, we went to her place and she permed his hair, and then the next morning we showed up to KROQ and like tight ass little curls, and we're like, he was like picking it out, and Lightning's like, all right, dude, like bust in the room and be like, Super Steve in the house.
No, slow down. I went in there and he opened it up and he introduced me as Super Steve. I didn't have any clue because we talked about that when he was here.
Yeah.
He was like, Super, and I go, how did you think about it? He goes, I don't know. I just fucking came up with whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But Ziggy's in the house as well on the chat.
Hey.
Oh, damn.
Nice no G right
But
there.
I remember going to, again, second night of No Doubt, and we're not setting up inside, but we're in a box truck outside, and this one guy comes up like 2 hours later. And he's like, hey, what's up? And I thought he wanted a sticker or something, and I'm new. He's like, no, I work here, dog. Keith. 2 hours later, showing up like, what do you mean you work here? And I'm getting paid the same hours. And by the way, close the box truck. We're going to Camacho's and getting margaritas.
That's cute.
And then I sit there and like, I'm just trying to be like, hey, I don't know if this is right or wrong, you know? Yeah. They're like, hey, you're drinking a margarita, right? And I'm like, fuck. Yeah. Pictures of margaritas come out. You know what I'm saying? So that was the introduction of like what this was really gonna be. Again, right after the margaritas, we went back to the box truck, got the stickers, handed them out, got in trouble because we weren't supposed to be handing shit out.
Yeah.
But you knew what it was gonna be. It was gonna be part party, part work.
And it was up to you to find that line.
But it was gonna be fun as hell.
It was walking that line all the time.
And you better
And it was
hang.
different. Like you brought up how like we weren't allowed to pass out stickers in some places. Like I got us kicked out of the Palladium. Like we weren't allowed to be on Palladium grounds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I thought, I'm gonna get fired for sure. Like we're not allowed to be on property, like passing shit out. And Amy went to a meeting with the owner and came back and was like, fuck him, we'll just park across the street and put a Lico on his fucking building. So we literally park across the street. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
A light with the logo
Lico
on it.
with the yeah, it's a logo light. So we put it up on his building and he'd get all pissed off, but we're on the sidewalk across the street and there was like bike cops that would work that street. I would always hook them up, right? They had kids, I'd hook them up. So whenever he'd call the cops, they'd come and be like, yeah, they're on the sidewalk, they're shining a light. What do you want us to do? Like, you can stand here and cover the light? Like, fuck out of here. So he'd get so mad. So we would just like, that's how, we remember for a long time, we had to park across the street for years. And that was because of me and Amy. Like, it was cool to know your boss went to bat for you and was like, fuck him, and just figured out a way to still do it without his consent.
Yeah. Remember the time we were I was doing the Kevin and Bean show, and we were outside of the Beverly Hills hotel, and we were there to talk shit to Christie.
Doug
Christie from the
basketball player
From Sacramento.
yeah, from Sacramento, and also was with me.
Super pussy whipped, right? So like that was what their whole joke was about him.
So I have a bullhorn.
Because wasn't that the one where his wife followed the truck? Yeah.
So I had a bullhorn. I go inside. Oso's with me, and we're going in, and they're like, "Go up the stairs. Go here."
No, okay, wait. You're not setting this up right though.
All right, go ahead.
Like you gotta mind you, like you're talking about two 400-pound Mexicans in fucking Beverly Hills with a fucking bullhorn in their hand.
Yeah.
Like you're not received well from the jump. Like they don't want you. Like there's no stealth.
Rolling
like,
down Rodeo with a shotgun.
There's no way to blend in. Like we don't belong here at all. Like so go on.
No. So you keep going, but we go up the stairs, and they're like, "Oh, try to get your way inside." And they know we're there already, bro. Right? We hit the elevator, and as soon as it opens, huge security guards right there already.
And Steve's on the phone live on the air.
Yeah.
And I'm going like, yo, the security, well, go around them. Like, go around them.
Yeah,
and the
like-
security's telling Oso, hey, we called the cops.
Yeah.
You guys better get out of here now. So we go back outside. We jump in the car. We go around the building. They go around the building and continue to berate him on the bullhorn.
Yeah.
So we go around the building. We're still talking.
We're
all
circling
this
the
smack.
building thinking that he could hear it from his room or something, you know. So Steve, like, I'm not supposed to even be driving vehicles, but I'm driving the vehicle, and
Yep.
Steve's just got the window down, and I'm just circling the hotel. And then we go to make a turn, and just fucking cops. Boom. We're like, oh, fuck, this is Beverly Hills police, too. Like, this is bad. So this guy's telling him, like, live on the air, like, we're going to get arrested now. Like, we're going to get arrested. They're like, so get arrested then. Like, you know what I mean? They don't care.
Yeah.
That's
great- it's
funnier
great
to
content,
them. That's
yeah.
great radio. You know? But go on.
But the cops were cool, man. They were
Yeah.
Laker fans, you know. They
Yeah.
just said, hey, get
They're like,
out of here.
Yeah.
Get
that
out of the
Chris is a
city.
pussy.
Just
They
don't
were
come
just
back.
like, dude, you can't do that in Beverly Hills. Like, go home. We're like, all right, dude, like, we got you. You know, but it was funny. Like, and that's the kind of random shit. Like, who thought you were gonna wake up that morning and go make fun of fucking Doug Christie to help the Lakers? Like,
Michelle,
just the randomness.
Yeah.
there's a lot of guys on these street teams. There's a lot of guys
Yeah.
as van drivers. As your perspective, how was it there at KROQ at this time with all these dudes, but you know, and still
Yeah, no. If
How did
if
that-
it was how it is then, how it is now, I could have got all you guys fired.
Everybody.
About to me too everybody right now.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, Red.
She's like, I got
No,
a
but
list.
like-
I got a list right now. I'm about to read it.
Jenner. So when you got hired,
No, but it was. I mean, I'm like a tomboy or tom girl, and so
But
it
I
was
think
fine.
too, like us getting hired in a group where there was more.
More,
of us.
yeah, that helped.
And like me and Michelle clicked. I think we worked together one of our very first days, and I'll never forget. I had a stupid Stussy shirt on that had a guy doing like a hand plant, and my shoes matched. And you're
shirt.
like, she goes, "You look."
He was like,
cute,
"I'm
your
gonna dress
shirt
like a white
matches." And then we started talking about like fucking Beverly Hills 90210 and the OC
Yeah.
and dumb
Yeah, I
shit.
think you're lying, bro. Stussy didn't make like 3 and 4X stock.
I was a 2X when I started at KROQ. I worked my way into a 4X, but I was a 2X when I started.
he blames K-Rock.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah.
it.
No, but it was fun though. It was fun. I like working with all the guys, and it's just more my speed. I think so they're more down to earth, and like working with a bunch of girls can get kind of catty. And so
Plus, I had Michelle's back, so there's no talking.
Yeah.
I was
I
just
had-
gonna say,
I had-
every
I
one
had-
of us had
I
her
had a
back.
lot
There
of-
was no
yeah.
talking about like even when she just started though, and it was just us. Like there was no talking shit about Michelle.
But
yeah, no, I had a lot of big brothers for sure.
Remember how
Yeah.
we were talking about like the drama and it's not until Red starts crying and all that.
Right.
Even though we'd be like, oh shit, she's crying, all of us would be like, wait, so what happened?
What-
Like,
yeah.
and if it was like a boy or something, we were like, no, fuck that. Like,
Yeah. And it's-
like
it was usually a boy. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Then it was like, So she.
And
had,
I think
she had
I heard
family.
more than once. No, it's okay. Oh, so it's all right. It's
It's
okay.
okay.
It's okay. 'Cause I
Don't
wanted
kill
to
him.
go just stomp
Don't
off
kill
and
him.
fucking beat the fuck out of someone. And Michelle's like, no, it's okay. It's okay.
but hearing that right now, like it reminds me of like the hours that we would spend together.
Yeah, it's
Like
been-
whether
Oh,
it
yeah.
be at
Yeah.
a show loading up or in a fucking car all day. Like
Or think about
like,
the Big Bear trips where
like-
you're in
Oh,
a
the big
cabin
trips,
all
yeah.
weekend. Like
yeah,
you're
you're,
in
with,
the
Tahoe
you're
air.
with,
trips.
you're with the
Tahoe
same
trips.
people over and over
Yeah.
again.
The
We
whole-
got close.
Tahoe
Like
trips.
this is like
Tahoe, that was
yeah.
no.
That's when
That hurts me still
Yeah.
because Tahoe was supposed to be my last hurrah,
That's right.
and it was because I got a new job, and so that was like my last gig forever in KROQ. It was supposed to be a singles weekend in Tahoe, and there's a separate crew that went up. I think it was Chuck, Mike Salas, somebody else, probably Smiley. They came up. They went out first, but then I was with all the winners. And of course, it was like this heavy snow, I guess.
She had to wait.
Yeah,
She had
I
to wait at the airport.
We waited at the airport to
Yeah,
see
yeah,
if the
yeah.
snow would like ease
Yeah.
up so we could take off,
Yeah.
but it was just too heavy.
Yeah.
So
We had to send
yeah.
all the winners back.
We
Yeah.
flew out there to like set stuff up
Yeah.
and make sure everything was prepared.
Were you on
for
that?
when they
No.
landed?
yeah,
No, he was.
Nick was,
We need
then.
to tell
Someone-
their
I never went
story.
to Tahoe. I went to
Yeah.
Vegas. I never went
Yeah.
to Tahoe.
No,
But
Tahoe
that
was when you
Tahoe
were
trip.
like,
So because
yeah.
then that. So
but
then
then
we
it was
finally-
another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the red one though.
But this-
because
yeah.
I don't even
Get
think
hers.
you weren't there yet.
No.
I mean you weren't there. You had left already.
Yeah, I had- yeah.
Yeah,
That was
so
my,
Red's
that
last
was my
gig.
last gig. So it ended up being a Blockbuster video in North Hollywood. That was my technical last gig.
Because she, yeah,
because I didn't count
So the funny thing is, so we were all in Tahoe, we're ready for you guys, whatever. All of a sudden, crazy snowstorm.
Yeah.
And we all had our snowboards, so we're getting like fresh powder, everything,
And
right?
you guys were stuck
Yeah,
there.
oh,
You couldn't
yeah.
come
Yes,
home.
we couldn't come home.
So they weren't working, so that
Yeah,
was was
so
just
they were just
snowboard.
So I was like, Red, so sorry. Like, she was like, fuck you guys. She was so pissed.
I went along with my snowboard and my gear, and I'm like
Walking back to the
Mom.
home. Yeah.
Steve was talking about the Tahoe trip we did, though, where we did a boat cruise.
Oh. We still talk about
And that one
one.
guy got fired that used to work with us.
Yeah, and I got shit-faced.
We had to
right?
hold Oso's hair back, bro.
And
Extremely.
The fucking that night was supposed to be a boat cruise, and then you get on one of those. What do you call them? What are those things?
Well, here's the effed up thing, dude. We flew our winners in, right? And everything was like, you got 2-3 days or whatever, right? Because a lot of times it's like the local cities or whatever, Tahoe, whatever, the visitors bureau is paying for this whole thing. So it's like we would fly them in. So we flew them in. So not only were they on a plane, but then they landed, right? Then they land, then they take a shuttle bus from the airport to the hotel. Then we got them in the hotel. We checked them all in. We did all that. Then it was like, okay, you have X amount of hours to get ready. Then we're gonna put you on a freaking a ferry, right? So
and
they
ride
got on
you
this,
all around the fucking
from
lake.
South Lake Tahoe to North Lake Tahoe. They took a ferry a boat ride that we took across
Which
the
was
whole
a cool
lake.
party.
Yeah,
Oh, it was an
fucking
awesome party.
rad.
We were freaking
That party was off
partying,
the
drinking,
hook.
like free drinks, whatever for all the listeners. They get to the other side, to the North Lake Tahoe, take another bus from
Jesus
there.
Christ.
That's what killed it.
Yeah.
That
Take
bus.
another bus from there to the ski resort, right?
This is what killed it.
Then from the base of the mountain, a gondola up to the top
Oh,
of the very top
So like
of the mountain.
8,000, 10,000 feet in 4 minutes.
And that's where the party was.
So I'm shit-faced at whatever elevation I'm at.
Oh my god.
And then we got on that fucking thing and got to the top, and I thought I was gonna fucking die. Like I was like,
We had to
"Get the fuck
carry
outta
his
here."
ass out.
So and the only way I got to leave was I was supposed to come back with all the winners and all the other staff, and the morning show wanted to leave.
Yeah.
And so Lightning was cool as fuck and said, "All right, Dick, I'll give up my spot. You can go with the morning show." So I get in the car, and I remember it was me, Kevin Ryder was sitting bitch, and he looks at me, he goes, "Oh, so if you fucking throw up on me, I swear to God, I'll open the door and throw you out." And I'm like, I won't. And so like I would be looking green, and he'd be like, "Pull over," and they'd fucking pull over, and I'd roll the window down, and I'd be like, no, we're good. And we made it all the way home, and I never fucking puked, but like I've never been like where I've had the spins like that.
Yeah.
Like that trip was pretty gnarly. It was fun, but it was crazy.
I mean, speaking
but
of
again,
trips,
at that moment, getting paid. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
speaking of
getting
trips,
paid.
we haven't even talked about how Coachella was a thing.
Oh my gosh.
dude.
Because
Coachella.
actually, that would probably say one of my favorite shows.
I was gonna say
because
Coachella,
I would say
Coachella.
like I got to see Beastie Boys, or kinda did. I was really fucked up because they're like basically. There's two shifts. There's a day shift and a
Yeah.
night shift. And I took the day shift because I want to watch Beastie Boys.
Let me tell you
I took
something
the
real
day
quick,
shift because
though.
I want to do mushrooms. So
That's
Totally.
Yeah.
That's where Fernando
And
got
then
fired.
fucking
Yeah.
and then get all messed up and fucking
Fern
sneak
Dog got
behind
fired
the
at
tent.
Coachella?
Ferndog got fired because he lost the wristbands
That's what I
for
was
the
talking
winners
Oh,
for
For Beastie
Beastie
Boys.
Boys.
And
so that's
Diana,
why we
right?
all got to go
Oh, bless her
because Aisa was like, "Hey, we need people over there with the Beastie Boys right now. You, come on, let's go." And as we're going to the backstage, we're grabbing people. Come on, because we need to get a crowd now.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ferndog lost all the. Or they weren't even lost. They were in his backpack. At his feet, but he couldn't remember, and that's why he got let go, dude. But yeah,
Hey,
that
I didn't
was
tell-
No.
awesome.
I mean,
I didn't tell that story, Fern Dog.
I think so. Anyways, basically, like some of those shows were some like my favorite. Daft Punk saw at Coachella.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Beastie Boys I remember.
What number Coachella were we on when you started working there?
Probably. So I started in 2002 in October. So
Put it this way,
2003.
it was the ones where we still had tickets on the streets.
Yeah, remember
And we were giving
stacked.
away tickets.
we couldn't
So
give
we
them.
were the
away.
first
Me and
one.
Michelle did the
The
first one when
one.
they did it in September, and it was like
Oh.
118 degrees.
When it was a
Yeah.
hip hop
No,
show?
you mean April, right?
No, October.
No, it was October.
October.
Yeah, I remember.
1999 was
Yeah.
October.
It was hot.
Was it
as
was it
hot.
Radiohead and Rage?
fuck
What
Yeah.
Rage,
Rage,
yes.
Morrissey.
Yeah,
Yeah, Rage and
I remember.
Tool.
I used to go to a lot of raves, so I remember seeing the flyer, but
Yeah.
I didn't go to that first one.
And then we
Yeah.
had these two tents, and they were
Yeah.
obviously at one end of the polo field.
Yeah,
you know,
and one
we
was
had
completely useless.
It was useless.
just-
It was
Hey,
just, yeah.
Jenner, I think you were like doing the job before Chuck came and did it. and I won't say who the company was, but you guys decided to put these clear walls on the tent, and with that sun, bro,
Yeah.
Made a greenhouse, human
Jesus
greenhouse.
Christ.
Yeah.
Nobody was in the tent.
Look, they're not
Everybody.
scientists. How are they supposed
We just
to
thought it
know?
looked cool, man.
And then
Everybody.
I don't know who it was. Maybe fucking Mr. Big Shot right here. Fucking me. Oh, machine going air conditioned. Oh, we have air conditioning now.
Right.
Like, fuck.
You know.
But
is
I'll tell you,
that
that
air
one was crazy,
conditioning?
bro. It was all
That it was too
see-through,
cold?
and it
It
was
was
like,
too cold.
it was crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It was.
Dude.
That was
but
you, bro.
Jenner
No,
did.
it was.
Jenner did pass out at a Coachella when it was not air conditioned
Yeah.
on a couch
Oh yeah.
where we were fucking slapped. Remember, we were throwing fucking those rubber ass
Oh, that's
keychains.
right.
And he wouldn't wake up. We're just bouncing him off his fucking face, and he's just right there asleep like that.
I mean,
That shit was funny.
So there's a whole like greeting that Jenner and I have now because of that night. After he got up, Red and I were walking him across the field, right? We were walking him back to the van, and he was just like done,
Fucking-
dude.
Yeah, I
like
remember.
Zombie.
we
Yeah.
That was
nowhere, like you couldn't talk to him, nothing.
All
We
of
were
these
just
stories,
holding him.
someone's drunk.
We were
Yeah.
carrying him,
Zonked.
and then all of a sudden he just stops, and we're like, "Oh fuck!" Like he's gonna puke on us or something. And he drops down to his knees, and he's like, his hands are down, and he's like just kind of crouched, and all of a sudden he just like, "Bruh, bruh, bruh," and we're like, "What the hell is going on?" And then he just like stands up. And he like, he kind of puked a little, whatever. But then he like stands up, and we just like look at him, and he's like, yeah, hey, what's up? Like he looks at us like he didn't know who we were,
Yeah.
and then he realized, and then he's like, yeah, like let's go, and he was like full brand new man.
I did a lot of
Yeah.
mushrooms there.
Yeah, no, I definitely that's why I picked the day shifts because I wanted to do
Yeah.
mushrooms that
Yeah,
night.
yeah, yeah.
And then, but it's always the first night. So then, allegedly, and then the next day I have the day shift again. I'm like passing out stickers. I'm like
Yeah.
all probably still strung out from the shrooms the night before.
Dude, I have a pretty funny Coachella story too, and it's funny because I have to I actually still work Coachella, so I've told a story recently about this, but like, dude, do you remember when I took the box truck back to the hotel? Like it was like almost towards the end of the night, and there was like some girls that I had met or whatever, and then like we went back to get like more drinks or something, and I took the box truck. And I like drove out, and the hotel was like down the street or whatever. And I end up coming back, and as I'm trying to come back, they shut all the roads down, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
only like
Oh,
exit
I
traffic
remember.
only one way out, right?
He can't
And
get.
I couldn't get
station
back
vehicle
in.
back into
And
the venue.
dude, the only way that they could load out was to like pack everything up
Yeah.
and put it in the box truck. So they couldn't leave until the box truck was there.
So now,
And-
not only is Chuck worried about losing his job, he's worried about me beating the
Oh,
absolute
I wasn't even
shit out
I
of
wasn't
him.
even thinking about my job, bro.
He got back. 'Cause that's a long day, and now I can't leave
Yeah.
because your dumbass wanted to take some broads to go get fucking drinks or whatever the fuck. I don't even remember why he was gone. But now I'm stuck here.
All
You
I
know what
remember
mean?
was, and this was like, early 2000s, and all I remember was why the hell were cell phones invented? Because this dude was
Sure.
blowing my cell phone up, bro. Like, I think I had a Trio at the time or whatever, And I'm like trying to drive back, and like, dude, I drove all around
And
the city
knowing
of
Chuck
Indio.
the way I do, yeah, he was trying his hardest, but at that moment, it didn't matter. You
Oh,
know?
dude.
Yeah.
He was like calling me, where the fuck are you?
This is
your
when we
fucking ass.
stay at that Super 8.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy
Dude,
smokes.
so I drove all around, right? Like, trying to
Was that
find
the
a way
same
in.
year as the campground? Was that all the same year?
No. This was
Okay.
dude, the campground we got to talk about too. But like basically, long story short, like I ended up like talking my way in through like police
Yeah.
roadblocks,
Yeah.
in through like a backstage,
Like you don't
where they
understand,
were-
telling them you
where-
don't understand.
Dude,
Like I need to get
yeah,
this truck
yeah.
back
there's
in.
a giant Mexican fucking cholo that wants to kill me right now. Azusa, fool. Like, no, but I'm like literally, like, where the semi trucks are like loading in and out all the bands and shit, and I'm like right there acting like I'm a freaking part of Rage Against the Machine's crew or something,
Yeah.
like, "Wah," and I just remember coming in through like the backstage area, somehow
Yeah.
snuck my way in, from the main stage at Coachella, I'm driving across the grass.
Honking the horn.
You don't do. I'm in the KROQ box truck, like
hauling balls,
dude,
and honking the horn like, I'm coming, fucker, I'm coming.
And I just see everyone's in there just still like kind of like unpacking shit, and Oso's standing outside the tent with a cigarette, just fucking staring at me, super pissed. And I pull up, beep, beep.
So how long?
And he just started laughing.
How long?
How long what?
How long does this whole process take?
Oh, dude.
A couple hours.
Hours?
Yeah.
Couple hours.
I probably tried to make my way
In
back
hindsight, we probably wouldn't have got out of there any earlier anyway.
Sure.
Yeah. But in that moment, I didn't know.
You don't want to hear. And yeah, exactly.
Like,
I
thought
guaranteed.
you're the reason I'm still here.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I thought.
And I mean, honestly, I also felt bad that I wasn't there to like help, you know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was.
He
just
was
like,
under way more stress trying to get through all that security.
Yeah.
And
dude. But one of the very first events that Steve and I worked, besides the Vegas trip where we met you guys,
We didn't meet him on that first one.
You weren't at the very first one? No. I met Red there, but so it was just Nick and
it was me and Nick first.
No,
it was
the first one we didn't know.
By then,
Are you sure?
Yeah, we
Oh,
were
that's
tight
right,
because
we weren't working on this.
Yeah, we were friends. We were staying in the same room when they came on
That's
that
true.
one.
Because the first one we weren't friends.
The very first one.
I
That's
sort of question our friendship now.
Actually, I'm gonna tell that story real quick then, because that one we were on. Super and I was like the very first thing, and this was actually how we got offered the job.
Yeah.
But there was a Vegas singles party, bus trip to
next
Vegas.
day.
Yeah.
Well,
and
because
so
the boss liked you, bro. One of the bosses was in love with you. Come on.
But anyways,
let's be real.
we're on this
Let's
bus.
be real.
We're on this bus, and there was a girl sitting on the bus, reading a book.
Oh, no, that's when me and
no,
that's when
the
me and
one with
Nick were
him.
there. That's
You're
what
confusing
Wasn't that
me
the
and
very
Nick-
first
no,
one?
No. You're confusing
The
the
very
trips.
first
Yeah.
one, you and I do
That
not work
was
for
the best.
KROQ. I was just on the morning show with Kevin and Bean.
Yeah.
And then that was the first
But
one.
you didn't come on the bus, right?
Yo, he did.
Yeah.
But
Him
not
and
with
Nick.
me.
We were on
No.
we were on
Oh, I went out earlier.
Yes.
So okay, so I
No,
gotta tell
you
you,
and I went out. You and I
we
went out earlier, and we got a limo.
because that's what I said. That like this is the greatest, like one of the greatest like first meets of all time.
But
right?
you and I went out on the limo, and we were like, why are we on this limo? And then Aisa was like, come on, fool. We got in the limo, Bud Lights and drinks, and so she made it up, you know, because we weren't going to be on the buses.
So we get out there, we have our room, and Steve had told me, oh, fucking this dude Nick and Johnny are gonna come and stay in our room. And so he was nervous to tell me because you know me, right?
Yeah, you're already not happy.
I'm already like, I'm not even happy I have to have a fucking roommate at this point
now
in my
some
career
other
at
assholes
KROQ.
come
I feel like I've earned my own room, you know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, you're a fucking dick. He's like, nah, they're cool, dog. You'll like them. Like, Nick is a fucking tattoo artist. Johnny's friend. He pierces this and that. I'm like, fuck, whatever, dude. So they come walking in. Fucking Steve walks, says hi. He fucking gets up, daps him up, and like, I don't know them, and I'm kind of a dick, so I just stayed in my chair. I didn't even get up.
Kinda.
Like, I'm still sitting. So I'm still just sitting there in one of those
What's
hotel
changed?
fucking lounge chairs, right?
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there, and this guy, after he says what's up to him, he looks, he goes, I take it, you're Oso? And I go, yeah. He reaches in his pants and fucking goes under his ball sack and fucking pulls out a sack of weed. He goes, I heard you like weed. And he fucking just throws it. So I'm sitting there and I got this fucking ball sack fucking sack of weed on me. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Like, hey, that's a way to make an impression. In my head, I'm thinking, can you open it and dump it out so I can put it in a container that hasn't touched your balls? But thank you. Like, I appreciate you. You know what I mean? So, and then that trip was just off the hook. Fucking Nick wore them fucking G-strings under those tearaways.
Speedo, yeah.
Wait, then okay, real quick. What was the trip that Nick?
That's
was
the one.
That
That
was
was
like the
bus on the
third-
way.
But
It was
you
on the
guys
bus,
weren't on
right?
the bus.
Oh no, yeah. See,
I was
that
on the
wasn't the
bus.
same trip. You didn't come on the bus. That trip, we went on the bus. You came separate with Nick and just met us there. You didn't come on the bus. That trip,
There was a bunch of buses.
yeah.
No,
There was a
hold
lot
on.
of bus trips.
No.
Hold
But
on.
you didn't come. One
The
time you guys
the first
came on
time
your
we
own.
met you, it was on the bus.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
The second time when you flew up,
Yes,
that was
that's
a
what I.
different.
That
Yeah,
you
There's
yeah,
multiple. There's multiple.
That's why you
parties.
had the fucking.
That just shows how
weed
old
in
these
your
guys
balls.
are here
Yeah,
on this show.
seriously.
Yeah.
Because we're confusing.
Yeah, I remember it.
That's how crazy it
Yeah.
is. That's how many
Yeah.
times we went to Vegas.
And,
Vegas
and,
was
Yeah.
crazy.
and
Vegas was
everything
crazy.
was always foggy, you know?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
But okay, then you guys tell me which trip it was. But basically, yes, there was
The
a girl
third trip was-
sitting on a
yes.
bus. she was reading a book the whole time.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were all
right
driving
before
out.
Bakersfield.
Yes.
Right, yeah, and that was the thing. Everyone that got on that bus was wasted
BS.
already.
Yeah.
BS.
Right?
No, your Chuck is right. This was the first one we
No,
ever did. Hold on. Chuck's right, because this was a different one. Hold on. The girl was reading the book. They made me go to her room with
Yes.
the bullhorn.
Yes.
and
Yeah,
wake her up.
that was
That was the first one.
Yeah.
This
Then the
is-
second one, it was another girl, but she wasn't reading a book,
No,
and
but the
in her
one where they
face
took a
was something
picture with the
different.
fucking dick over her shoulder.
No. So
No.
here's, well, if you assholes will just shut the.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
All right.
Oh.
Welcome to the Chuck.
By the way, we
Welcome to the West Coast Chuckadami podcast.
I'll smoke a bowl. You keep talking.
We are. There's a girl sitting there reading a book
Yes.
in the aisle of the bus. Okay,
We're so each bus is on one bus Bean was on the bus.
Correct.
Another bus Kevin's on the bus. So,
Yeah.
and
And
we're
Lightning
on,
had a
and
bus.
and we're on Kevin's
We're
bus.
on Kevin
We're on
Ryder's
Kevin's
bus.
bus.
Yeah, from the
Yes.
Kevin and Bean show.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we are on this bus, and
Which is default the party bus.
Oh, but
You know what I mean? Because Kevin's on. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I'm saying for anybody who's not going to be the
Bean
party
was
bus.
probably reading a book himself.
You know what I mean?
Right.
This
Actually, no. This trip, Bean was in a car following
Yeah,
us.
Bean didn't ride a bus. It was
Yeah.
Lightning had a
Lightning.
bus.
Yeah.
Kevin
Kevin.
and Ralph.
Ralph. Yeah,
And
Ralph.
There
Ralph
it
had a
is.
bus.
So
Perfect.
yeah, we're on Kevin's bus. This girl is sitting halfway back in the bus, right? So right in the middle. She's reading a book, and exactly what you would picture a KROQ singles bus to be like is
It was
exactly
like that.
what's going on in this bus.
Like no
everyone
bullshit.
jumping over each
and
other.
there's someone like they're making like blended fucking margaritas.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
blender
Yeah.
on the bus.
just
Like they're fucking
pounding
this is
drinks.
no bullshit. Like, oh, here's a couple beers. Let's fucking drink on the way to Vegas. Like
Yeah.
they're fucking partying.
We were
dog.
drunk before we left that
Oh,
parking
yeah.
lot.
fuck
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Before we
Yeah.
left that parking lot. we
Yeah.
were
You
fucking
hit
drunk.
Barstow, and you're
Oh,
smashed.
you're
No.
Oh, yeah.
you're-
I was chugging 151 straight from the bottle.
Oh my
I
god.
remember
Yeah.
that.
Like, and then it was disgusting.
I remember
And that's
there's
why
a
she's the
parking
Indonesian
lot
princess.
there's a parking lot where all the winners go and meet before we take off.
Yeah.
I remember people puking at the
Yeah, the
parking
parking
lot.
lot.
Before we got on the
And
bus.
they
Before we got on the bus
in
and
Southern
they never
California.
made
And
it.
on that bus, it was
Yeah.
that was right when AMP came out by Mountain Dew. So
love
on
AMP.
the bus is just energy drinks too. So not only is
I don't
everybody
even
drunk,
remember
but they're
that.
like, ah! You're like, all these fools are fine because that's the only mixers we have
Yeah,
is
yeah,
AMP
yeah.
energy drinks. So everybody's drunk mixing AMP with whatever they're drinking.
Yeah.
So not only is everybody drunk, they're like, there's electricity in the
Jumping
air.
over
You
each
know,
other.
like they're
And that's what I'm
fucking-
saying. Jumping all over each other. It's
Yeah.
wild. It's crazy and all this stuff. And this girl legit was going, shh.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys are being too loud.
Yeah.
Like
What
telling
the
everyone.
fuck are you
and
talking
her friend
about?
is like partying with us, and
Yeah.
she's like apologizing. Oh my god, you guys, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Laughing at her
Blah, blah, blah,
friend.
all this stuff, and we're just like, all right, whatever. So somehow it gets over to Kevin, and Kevin Ryder's like, dude, what the fuck is going on with her? And I don't know whose idea it was.
Yeah, it was Kevin's. He
No,
he knew
no,
Kevin.
because one of you guys said first. No, I think it was either
Oh,
it was
maybe.
you that
So
went up and
at
you
that
were
time,
like,
I was looking like fool. I told Nick, we're getting in. Like we're
Right.
gonna go and we're gonna fucking make our
well, that was
presence
your
known.
way,
Right?
Because
Yeah,
you
yeah,
went up
yeah,
to
yeah.
Kevin Ryder and you said,
You
"Yo,
wanted to be a
my
part
boy
of the
Nick-"
trip,
and
not
this is
just
what,
there.
This is what's
Yeah,
funny
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Instead of him saying, "Oh, like we're crazy," he went up to Kevin and said, "My boy Nick is so crazy. He'll do
He'll
whatever
get
you
naked
tell him."
right now, yeah.
And so Kevin goes, "All right, walk over there." And I whatever he said, son, but he was like, "Walk over there and like whip it out
it
and
out
like
on-
or
on
something."
it.
No. Actually, I take that back. He said, "Go over there with your pants down and like with your ass like out
Yeah,
next
yeah,
to her
give her
or
a lap
something,
dance
right?"
or something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like give her a lap dance, pull your pants down, and give her a lap dance with your ass out. So we were like, "Oh yeah, that'd
Nick
be so
decided
funny."
to level up.
So Nick walks back there, and we're all like watching, like, oh, okay, what's gonna happen? So we see him walking back to her, and she's still right there reading her book, like whatever.
Nick was the
He's-
resident KROQ tattoo artist at
started-
the time, just so you all know.
Yeah, he starts
After
undoing his
this.
pants and
Yeah.
whatever. And so he gets right up to where her seat is, and he pulls his pants down to like put his ass in her face, and she looks up from her book, and like he sees her, she sees him, he freaks out, and he like panics. And instead of putting his ass in her face, he turns around, and now he's got like his dick in her face, and she's like,
Wiener,
"Ah!"
please, wiener.
It starts like just like swinging at it, you know, and like it just turned into the gnarliest
Jackass.
thing.
Turned into jackass.
Yeah, white boy shit, you know,
White boy
white boy shit. And dude,
Yeah.
So, and we weren't even to Barstow yet.
No.
Because then remember we had to stop in Barstow, and
she
was
wanted to go
demanding.
home.
She was gonna sue.
Yeah.
She was demanding to be taken off the bus and like all this different stuff.
I mean, I remember going to Big Bear and some guy getting arrested in the lobby when we get there. I mean, there's just crazy stuff going on.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what's crazy going to go on? August 11th, Fern Dog will be at Don Cuco's. Make sure to get out to Don Cuco's in Burbank. Fern Dog will be there signing autographs.
The legendary Fern Dog.
We need to get him on the radio. Why is he not here tonight?
Yeah.
He was in hiding.
And if
trying
I
to get
like
him.
you should think about getting those dudes on fucking OLD Penn.
Yeah.
Like
You know what? I think
those dudes
Dude,
came
like
from an
classes.
era
Yeah.
that like it was
Like-
even
So we're taking
better
back.
that
We're
we
taking
had.
back.
Dude,
Well, I think once the
their stories were unreal.
Once the documentary comes out, then we reach out to those guys and have them come on and tell us what it really
Yeah.
was like, behind the scenes.
There's a tattooer named Scott Harrison, and what he would always say was, "I got in on the tail end of when it was cool."
Yeah.
And like, but the generations before, like,
Yeah,
and it's like
yeah,
that's
yeah.
you guys got in the and
Yeah.
this is the generation
Right.
from when it was
Like
fucking
we were
cool. Yeah.
among the last generations that would party so hard that we'd sleep in the lobby couches because we had to
Those
wake up
couches were
and
still
work.
there, by the way.
Yeah.
Wake up and work the next morning. We're like,
Yeah.
fuck driving home. Like, I'll just fucking party and stay.
I
at the
mean,
station.
when you combine both of them,
Yeah.
they were,
Yeah,
they were
yeah.
perfect.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
maybe when you're fucking you.
I would get all of the cushions and throw them on the ground
Yeah.
and puzzle piece them together and
Yeah.
on that.
Jenner could do it,
It
with
was
the two.
rough.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
The rest of us had to use like 4 of those couches.
I will tell you this though, for whatever it's worth, the bosses that we had at the time
Yeah.
had our backs.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And they made sure like when we had to work, we worked.
Yeah. Oh
But
yeah.
they
yeah.
but they knew how to like give us that.
Like we all joke about all this party. That's all we've talked about is all this party. Oh fuck! I was drunk. Everyone here made their name there
Yes.
by busting their fucking ass.
Sure.
Yeah.
When we started, we started right in around the summer, and there'd be like you'd work all morning on some sticker hit, and you'd just barely get back, and they'd be like, "Hey, there's no one for this second gig." We're like, "Cool, we'll do it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you're working a 20-hour day, like you're brand new. I'm like, dude, we're gonna fucking drive around playing music. Who gives a fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, it's
And they're like, we're all smart. Like we were intelligent at what we did.
Yeah.
So our bosses liked everyone at this table. You know what I mean? Because
We were
knew
in.
what we were doing.
We were
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
And
We
you
got
knew
to do
real
all the good
quick.
shit.
You knew real quick if you
Oh,
were in or
dude.
out. You know?
And they took care of you. They knew.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They go,
yeah,
you know what? Yeah, you guys deserve.
Because they knew when you were
Vegas."
out at an event and they weren't there, that you were going to take care of theirs and the station's best interest on their
Exactly.
behalf.
Yeah.
And they
And
would
make
take
the
care of
right
you.
call most of the
Yeah.
time, you know?
And then they also took us on other shit to do other experiences and to have other cool stuff. So,
Yeah.
as much as KROQ itself, I also like to thank the people behind it, the bosses that were there.
Yeah.
Even Chuck became a boss at the time
Yep.
as well. And just allowing us to, have fun.
Yeah.
Because when you think KROQ, that's what you think. You
Yeah.
don't think I'm gonna go and fucking sit down and have to, do a work.
Uh-oh.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Oh, it was a call.
Caller, you're on the West Coast.
Hey, what's happening?
What's up? Who is this?
It's old man.
What's up, my
Hi,
dude?
Christian.
Hey, how's everyone doing?
You talk about how Fern Dog taught you how to do everything right, and then said, "Fucking now, this is the dude that taught me everything from
stop
where to
it.
put a banner, how to set up a sound system, how to fucking rip a fucking pipe while you're driving the box truck. Like everything I fucking learned, I learned from this dude. I learned like how to fucking have the vent set so you could smoke weed in the car and not leave it smelling like the fucking you smoke weed in the car. I learned everything. Dude, you taught me one of the slickest, one of the slickest shits you ever did, dude. We were walking into a show at the Greek or something, and you brought your pipe with you, and I'm like, what's this fool gonna do with this pipe, right? But OLD did magic, so I'm like, he's gonna fucking do something, right? So we get there and he just looks at a bush and he fucking tosses it in the bush and keeps walking. He goes, it'll be there when we get back. And we walk out of the show and he walks right by that bush and his fucking pipe's still there. And I'm like, fuck, you know how many times I've used that trick now, dude? On my way in, I'm like, I want to smoke one more bowl on my way in. That's a long walk. I want to be ripped.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's good to hear from you, dude.
It's great. I just want to say it's great seeing you guys. You look great, so
Thank you, bro.
I think Penn's listening in tonight.
Right
Penn
on.
is around.
I haven't seen Penn in forever.
I just wanted to call him real quick. It's just great to hear some of these stories because I'll be honest, man. I'm an old man now.
So
and I don't even remember half that shit.
Hell yeah. Damn,
Seriously,
that's too
man.
funny.
You know, I moved on. I ended up at Billboard Magazine after KROQ
right
for a
on.
while,
Yeah.
which was fine. I got completely out of the music scene, thank God. And if you want to check me out, watch the HBO show Winning Time. I'm one of the co-stars on that.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
So, yeah, I'm in the acting game, man. I'm an actor.
Tell him who you started as in a big costume. You were the original who?
I was one of the original Barneys.
Yup.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I was
love
the original
you,
Barney
you
when
love
Kevin
me.
and Bean put a bounty out on me. And like I had people like hunting me down. I had a police escort. It was ridiculous.
So we gotta have the original Barney on the West Coast Pop Lock podcast one of these days
Right?
for sure.
Yeah,
Come on.
you get that
I
crew
love
on him,
you.
Penn. I don't know where Jake is right now, like
Oh,
if he's
Jake,
around,
yeah.
like those.
Jake's listening tonight.
Right
we all try
on.
to keep in contact.
That's fucking awesome, dude. Well, I hope you guys are all
I talked
listening.
to
I talk
Penn
about all you guys
yesterday.
fondly.
Yeah, he has a big old
Oh,
smile on his
man.
face
I
right
do.
now.
I haven't heard
Yeah,
these guys. I haven't heard
When
about
you
these dudes
came
in a
on
long
and he heard it
time,
was your
man.
voice, bro, the smile on his face was...
I haven't heard this dude, and I can't
I
tell you for
know,
how long
so
I haven't talked
long.
to Christian.
Well, they're all going to be at
bless
the
you.
Cuckoos on the August 11th.
Yeah, August 11th. Show us the Cuckoos, bro. Fern Dog said.
Yeah, we'll see you down
August 11th.
Cuckoos, right?
Yep, I'm going. I swear to
Nice.
fucking God, I'll be there.
I'm there too, that's
All
for
right,
sure.
we'll see you, Christian. Thank you, bro.
All right, guys, it's a pleasure. Have a
Yeah.
great show.
Yeah,
All
thank
right,
you,
bro.
man.
Bye, Christian.
That's crazy.
Bye, guys.
Later.
And that's what it's about, man. You know, when the KROQ started changing and people started leaving, I started seeing some of these new kids like, oh, we're gonna miss KROQ, and I started thinking to myself, and Johnny and I and Mario were talking, I was like, that's not KROQ, bro.
I
That's not the real
remember when I
KROQ.
knew it was time to move on is I got put on a fucking bar hit somewhere far away, so it was a long drive with a fucking dude that would remain nameless, but he was a fucking weenie, and we get in the car, and I'm already trying my hardest to like fucking not be oh so the dick, right? I can tell that he's already heard the stories, he's already scared of me in the fucking car, and so I'm like, how'd you get the job? Like trying to make small talk. So I'm like, music, right? We got to fucking, he works at KROQ. There's got to be some band we like. I'm like, so who's your favorite band? And he goes, Savage Garden.
Wait, is this
You
for
know
you?
who- you know.
Yeah, okay.
There's a clothing line named after our boy.
Okay,
Sue.
yeah.
you.
And these are
Yeah,
for you.
80s clothing line named after our boy.
Okay.
And so he said that, and I looked at him and I go, bro, like we could work together, but don't talk to me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't, there's
Ever.
nothing we're gonna vibe on, bro, so leave me the fuck alone. Like, I don't want to talk music with you. Like, can't believe what you just fucking said. Unless the next word's out of your mouth, or I'm fucking kidding, dog. Like, fuck, I just want to see how you react. Okay, then you're cool. I get you. You know what I mean? Just throwing one random one out there, but like that's like in your heart. Like we ain't friends.
It's in his heart, bro.
I don't
You
even.
remember that guy's fucking recording when you call his house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, this dude's on a different
Bless
one, man.
his heart.
You know,
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what's sad?
Just out of
though?
curiosity, what were on the recordings?
Okay, so I call one day and it's blah 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 and blah blah blah, and he goes on this whole spiel, right? And the way he does it, I'm thinking it has to be a roommate. So I'm like, hey, you fucking dick, where the fuck are you? Like, you were supposed to be here fucking 20 minutes ago. We're fucking waiting for you. What the fuck, you fucking newbie piece of fucking shit. Like,
Wow.
just to be a dick, right? Like,
Yeah,
I'm just trying
yeah.
to lay it on. And I hang up, and he fucking, it's his fucking mom. It's him and his mom. But he introduced her on the machine by first name. Like, if that was me, I wouldn't do that, right? Like, I don't know. I just wouldn't do it like the way he did it. And everyone was like, oh shit, I've left some fucked up shit on there too. I didn't know it was his mom. And I'm like, yeah, dude, that other name, that's not his chick or his fucking roommate. Like, that's his fucking mom, dude. He lives alone with his mom.
By the way, talk about dating yourself. You're talking about leaving a voicemail on an answering machine at a hard line.
Yep.
The kids that are listening are like, what is he talking about?
Like, why did you have to talk to his mom?
Yeah, why would his mom hear it? That's weird. Why didn't he just check the voicemail himself?
Yeah. Yeah, fucking yeah.
I looked up Savage Garden. I still don't know. I see what their songs are, but I don't know who that is.
If you heard their biggest hit, I'm sure you would have heard it somewhere before.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's
not.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like how he got the job, I'll never know. Like I don't.
There was always that one guy that
there always
knew
was
somebody.
Or girl, like,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was like,
I knew
this
somebody.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I'm
sounds
talking
like
about,
everybody knew somebody.
Yeah.
I got a job there.
I would die when those people would try to tell me, oh, like I'm fucking blah blah blah's niece. Like
There you
I
go.
don't give a fuck about that guy, so don't think I give a fuck about you.
Yeah, it
You
was
know
like
what I
the
mean? I don't
sales
give
guys.
a fuck who your fucking uncle is. Go fuck yourself. Like get the fuck out of here with that.
I think we just got demonetized.
Nah,
right now
my
with
God,
the thanks, so we were gonna make money off this one.
I would say though, like it is pretty sad that because I would tell a lot of people like, hey, like people that were like, oh, how do you like get into a job like that, or how do you like do this, or like, you know, because yeah, like I eventually like I became event manager and then director of events at KROQ, and then I was marketing director at Amp Radio and like all this different stuff, and like crews that like
Resume
worked for us.
time.
Yeah.
I wait.
Anyone
Chuck
listening is always looking for work.
You
What's
manager.
yeah, no, I'm.
What's the website?
I'm the manager.
No, but like, and honestly, I would always tell people like, hey, 'cause they'd be like, how do you get in this or how do you do that? And I'm like, dude, work in radio.
Yeah.
Get a job in radio promo. Like you're
I've
gonna
actually
learn
told
so
people,
much
sadly,
stuff.
don't bother with college.
Dude,
Sure.
Yeah.
like
Get a job and work your fucking ass off.
this was like the best
Learn,
type of
like,
job
learn.
to learn everything, because that was the
industry.
other thing in radio. We did everything,
At
dude.
KROQ, you
like,
did everything. At some radio stations, I worked at others. You didn't do what we did.
True.
You weren't
True.
given the responsibility. That's why, like, you remember, like, at times record label reps would bend over backwards for you, and you're like, I'm a fucking $10
Right.
an hour van driver. Like,
Right,
why are
right.
you worried about if I'm on the guest list, if I'm taken care of tonight? Because they knew you're not always going to be a van driver.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And you
Like,
got a
they
long
knew-
memory.
They knew it was the proving grounds. Like, if you made it through there and you were one of, like they said, our bosses, the three of them, Smiley, you know, the bosses, you had a good chance of moving on within the industry.
Yeah.
You know?
And
And,
here's
if
the thing, me
beyond
and
them, if
Rob-
they liked you, the guys even above them liked you, you were for sure going to move on somewhere.
It was crazy because myself and Rob Castellone, a.k.a. Bubbles, a.k.a. fucking
Dagger.
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 Camaron.
Camaron's the
Him and
old
I,
school.
him and I were
representing his record label.
Him and I were trying to do a little like video show called Atomic TV, and I was hosting it. And he was in, and record labels were sending us shit.
Yes.
And then Amy found out, and she's like, I was home. She goes, come back to KROQ right now. I drove my ass
Not the
all the
call
way
you
back.
want.
I thought that I was done.
Yeah.
She's like, look, guys, you guys don't understand. Like, because you work here, just because you work here, these guys are like trying to do anything they can.
Yeah, and you don't
to
know what
get a
that's going to
favor
lead
back.
to.
Yes.
Yeah.
She goes, I appreciate your effort. I
And your
appreciate you guys
hustle.
are hustling.
Yeah.
But you have to understand that when it comes to them coming here now, meeting with us, and we're like, well, we took care of your guys.
Yeah.
You guys owe us now.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And it was an experience and something, you know, you learn very quickly. But at the same time, like we said, they had your back.
Yeah.
They always wanted the best for you. When they saw something that was up your alley or some opportunity, they would come and tell you.
The first time I ever saw Modest Mouse, our boss, our main boss, she called the label, hooked it up in San Francisco, bought me and my wife our hotel room. Like, she made it happen.
Yeah.
Because she knew at the time on my salary, I wasn't going to make it up to no fucking San Francisco.
But you earned that.
And but she didn't have to do. Well,
No.
No
But you know what I
boss.
mean?
Yeah. You earned it in a way, but it didn't have to be shown.
No.
You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And it was shown.
Yeah.
Like that's
They
the
showed
kind of
it.
shit that like made that place while we worked there up until a certain point that it was more than a job.
Yeah.
Like it was part of your very, very personal lifestyle.
One of the cool
identity.
things. One
Yeah,
of the cool
for
things that I
sure.
do remember from KROQ, and it wasn't a show or it wasn't nothing. It was when Tim Armstrong came with his solo project, and doesn't go anywhere else but to the van driver's room or whatever we have, their office, and he calls us out to play this album for us because he wanted to know what we thought about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Was
He
it
sat
Fern
there.
Dog saying one time he was out on the street and Tim was riding his bike and he stopped and asked Fern Dog, how long are you going to be here? He goes, a couple hours. He goes, all right, I'll be right back. He went to the liquor store, bought a fucking coffee and rode back and just sat at the fucking sticker hit with Fern
Tim
Dog.
was always around.
I remember us being around and someone, like an individual, like someone from another band would be like, hey, Tim, can I get a picture? You're one of my heroes. And he'd be like, yeah. And then if he'd see any of us, hey, get in this picture.
Yeah.
And you could tell the dude that asked for it didn't want
Right.
But Tim wanted everyone
Yeah.
around in that picture. And like there was just, you'd meet certain people. Like I wasn't like one of their hugest fans prior to that. Once I met him, then I was like, I got to know.
Yeah.
But going into it, it was just him that made me a fan. You know what I mean? Like him. As
I
a
remember
person.
Dave Grohl. We saw Dave Grohl at the Troubadour, and I went up to Pat Smear because I wanted to take a photo with him because I know who he was. And he looked at me and goes, "Yo, bro, what about me? You want a photo with me, dog? I want a photo with me. Come here." And so he grabbed me, but it was just like a buddy, dude. Those guys, you know what I mean?
Dave Grohl came out of a
those
show
two.
one time, and someone was, I think it was Leo, was parked in the Expedition. And you know how the Expedition, the one with the fire, you couldn't really see out of the back window, so he couldn't see who was on it, but someone was on the back of the truck shaking it, so he gets out, it's fucking Dave Grohl. You know
People
what I
ask
mean?
me a lot, like, oh, you worked at KROQ for, because I was at KROQ 10 years, right? Like we were there, like, and I was like, yeah. Who's
the
like the
coolest-
best person,
yeah.
dude? Right away, hands down, no matter what, Tim Armstrong, Dave Grohl. Two of the coolest, like, downest dudes ever. Tim Armstrong, one time we were unloading the truck backstage at Weenie Roast, like a bunch of van drivers, like carrying boxes into the production office backstage at Verizon. And Tim, like I turned around and Tim Armstrong had a box, like 2 boxes in his hand. And he's a tiny dude. Like, he's pretty small. But he's like carrying these giant, like, boxes, like, hey, where do these go? And I'm like, oh, no, man. Like, and he was performing that
They
day.
go
like,
not in your arms.
yeah, we're like trying to take them from him, and
Not
he's like, no, let's go. Come on, where are these going? You know, and like,
Didn't you almost kill Dave Grohl out of a golf cart? Yeah.
Dude, it's like, one of my favorite stories, because I was like, at that time too, I like loved foods, and I was like, dude, like, and I used to, I think it was like, go pick up Dave Grohl. Like, he has an interview backstage, and I was like, hell yeah. So I took the golf cart over, met up him and Taylor. Were right there, and they were finishing their beers or whatever. And I had just like dropped someone off or something. There was a red cup in the golf cart, and I'm driving. Dave Grohl gets in. I'm like, hey, you ready? He's like, yeah. He's like, are you our driver? And I'm like, yeah. And he looks down. He goes, is that your cup? And I was like, nah, man. Like, someone left. He's like, and he picks it up. Is this beer? Oh, and he's like, yeah, I can't, this guy's been drinking, and just like totally messing around, right? And I was just like laughing, and our boss was like, oh, okay, whatever, yeah, So then he gets in, and backstage at Weenie Roast, there was like the trailers were set up around the broadcast area and in the back area, so like semi trucks would come in, and then they would like drop gear and then drive out the other way. So the crowd was gathered because they knew that Dave Grohl was going to be interviewed right there. So we were like, all right, I'm going to drive around the backside where it's like more clear. And then when I come around the corner, I'll drop him off right there in the front because that's where the stage was where he was getting interviewed. And so he's like, we're in the cart, and he's like pushing my leg down, like, dude, floor it, like, fucking let's go, and like just totally messing around, like being funny. So and I'm just like, all right. So then we like come around the corner. I'm trying to go all slow because I can't really see. And he goes, hey, when we pull up, just fucking floor it and honk the horn. Like, dude, just like straight at the stage. And I'm like, nah, man, nah. And he's like, no, come on, seriously, go. And I'm just like thinking in my head, like, dude, I either got this one shot to do this and it's like gonna be legendary, or like I'm just gonna totally be fucking fired, So he's like, come on. And I'm just like, fuck it. So like crowd of people, and I just floor it. I mean, it's a golf cart, you know.
But
So,
it can go
but yeah, so I'm like, whoa. He like stands up, like completely out of the cart, holds on to the rail of it, and he's like leaning out the cart as I'm like just driving straight at this crowd, and he's like, yeah, like screaming at the crowd as I'm going. All of a sudden, the crowd like parts, right? Like, and I'm like, oh shit, the stage is like right. Like I thought it was like a bunch of people in a lot of room to the stage, but like the people part, and I'm just like,
right there.
oh shit, like just slam on the brake. He goes like flying forward, kind of like stumbles, trips onto the stage, and like rolls, and then like jumps up. And everyone's just like looking at me, and like the Lisa Warden, our boss that they were talking about earlier, she was our music director. Like props to Lisa, like bad girl, like in the whole industry, like she's running stuff. She just looks at me, and I'm just like, I'm fucking fired, dude. And he stands up, and he's like, fuck yeah! He's like, fucking punk rock. He's like, that's how I want to be introduced to every stage. And he like turns around to the crowd. He's like, what's up, fuckers? Like, oh, and I'm just sitting there like, dude, I'm so dead.
Cool,
and like,
man.
and like Taylor was in the back seat, and he just like gets out, like just like his normal like laughing smile, like looks at me, and like gives me dabs, and like walks up onto the stage, and I'm just like, dude, like, but yeah, man, those dudes were like super cool. Dave Grohl and Tim were the kind of guys that like they would see us out at other stuff and like remember us.
Sure.
We'd be out at stuff. They'd be like, "Oh, yo, what's up?" Like,
I remember being backstage at Rancid with Steve for like the first time, and Tim walked right up and was like, "What's up?" And
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh," I was like, "You know Tim?" He's like, "Apparently."
I remember feeling like a big shot one year after fucking Acoustic. I think it was Jeremy called me and goes, "Hey, Dick, fucking the drummer from Modest Mouse is walking around the party asking for you." And I'm like, and right now, mind you, Modest Mouse at the time, like we were talking about, like my fucking number one band. I'm like, oh yeah, we're tight. Inside, I'm like, oh shit,
that's my boy.
I'm gonna tie my shoes, run upstairs, just so I could fucking say bye to him. Like, just
Wait,
it
you
was
ran?
funny. I shuffled.
You're getting ready to spit shine.
Here's the thing, though. Those KROQ backstages were legendary, bro.
Absolutely.
Because there's
That
no
shit's on another level.
Yeah, because there's no show that you go to today. Even back then, they didn't have backstages like that.
No.
Because backstage at a regular show is just a bunch of equipment. And there's one guy, because the band has their own room, first of all. And backstage is, they might have some drinks and shit for you there. Like, oh, you're backstage. Okay, now go watch the show. At KROQ, it was backstage. It was crazy.
There was whippets going on. You find remnants of fucking cocaine. Like that shit was a party.
There was
right?
drinks.
Acoustic Christmas was like the
Acoustic.
Christmas party of the year for like all of
For
LA,
industry,
like
for
Hollywood,
anyone,
music, whatever, like the who's who
There'd be
of
times I remember you'd be
entertainment.
standing backstage at Acoustic Christmas, and I would like look over my shoulder, and I'm like, oh my god, that's fucking Alyssa Milano.
Right.
Like, oh my god, that's fucking whoever. Like,
Yeah.
Movie
Just-
stars.
Yeah.
oh shit, there's Brad Pitt. Oh
Right.
shit, there's
Especially
this. Like, what
the people
fuck?
that grew up here.
Yeah.
Right.
And then became
Yes.
a celebrity, but in their
Absolutely.
heart, they're just
They
some
didn't
fools that
move
used
to
to listen
LA,
to the
they
radio.
grew up in
Right,
LA.
they
Yeah.
grew up on KROQ.
Yeah.
It means a whole different
yeah.
thing to those people. Yeah.
There's no, and it's sad, there's no venue anymore that
Like
has
that.
the
Like
layout,
that
the backstage
sort of vibe.
layout, like
There was a
Gibson,
it was built in. Like you just knew what you were
Right.
gonna get there.
Yeah.
even
Well,
Irvine Meadows.
there's a
and-
Yeah.
backstage, and then there was the backstage.
backstage.
That
Right.
we're talking about the backstage, but even the backstage at Acoustic was off. The
No, yeah,
Yeah.
that's what. Yeah.
That was
And that was the Gibson Amphitheater,
Yeah.
and it was now it's
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter. Yeah,
but
yeah.
like back then it was at Universal Studios, and
Yeah.
there's the Fletcher story. Like I don't know if you
Oh,
guys
yeah,
ever heard
yeah,
that one,
yeah.
but he like hijacked a tram and tried to drive it back to the hotel on Hollywood and Highland or whatever, and like got busted and tried to run from the cops and like
What the fuck?
dude, that's a whole other awesome story. That's like. I mean,
Well,
it's not even
we'll
my
ask
story
him
to
when
tell.
he
Yeah,
comes in.
we're gonna get Fletcher.
We should
here.
honestly, you guys should get Chris Lisk on to talk about Fletcher stories, because dude,
We'll
Chris.
just get Fletcher.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Him and like Lisk and Fletcher, because Lisk was creating a whole. He was trying to create a whole cartoon series, like a mini series that was
Hilarious.
strictly Fletcher stories, and like, dude, there's like crazy stories, like
Yeah, they're insane.
Yeah.
a story of him getting hit by a freaking elephant. Like an elephant trunk. And if you know Fletcher at all, he's
He's a
7
giant
foot.
dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He
Yeah.
made me look at my biggest like a child. Like you look at him, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Damn.
I was telling Steve before I would see him like at the Hustler Casino playing cards, you know, and my thought was always, does everybody else know we're in danger right now?
Yeah,
Like, do the other people in this room?
But that gave you an advantage because
Yeah.
you could see it it was a meter with that dude. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Oh,
Like, you
totally.
could see it rising, so you could just be like, I'm gonna cash out.
And it's
Time to
like
go.
we're in danger. Like, this dude could
danger
explode and kill us all
Right.
at any second, like for no reason. So
He may lose a hand and fucking throw a grenade.
Yeah, dude, because we would also design like all the or I would design all the posters for like backstage and stuff. And one of the years for Acoustic Christmas, the Pennywise poster I designed was like a tram like crushed by King Kong.
Hilarious.
Because it was like it was one of those like if you know you know
This
things.
inside-
you know?
this inside baseball
So
right
like
here.
all of us
Yeah.
like the promo guys were like, oh dude, that's the Fletcher story. Dude, yeah. Good times, man.
Good times.
Good
Good times every
fucking
Tuesday
times.
night here on the West Coast Pop Lock Podcast.
we're into overtime tonight,
at
man.
8 o'clock every Tuesday, live on YouTube, live on Twitch, live on Facebook, live on Local Music Experience.
God
And you
damn.
can also catch us.
It's live on Tuesdays on Local Music Experience. But then if you don't listen then, Wednesdays we're on twice too. 8 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Replays.
On Wednesdays.
I want to thank all these guys here. They made my childhood dream. My childhood dream of being on KROQ came true, and it was
You guys were all there.
awesome experience,
Yeah.
and to have shared that with every single one of you guys was amazing. And there's guys here that are not here that didn't come on to the show today, but there's plenty of other people that we shared moments with, and man, it was fucking amazing, dude.
Yo,
It was
dude,
such a fucking great time.
I think you made Michelle cry, bro.
I know.
Yeah.
Is it a party?
But definitely, man, there will definitely be a part 2 to this.
Yes.
Maybe at our 100th show, we'll have you guys come out. 10 more shows from now, we're going to do something live. Have you guys come out, and we can talk some more smack, and we can have
Don
some drinks
Cuco's.
and shit.
Don Cuco's.
Yeah.
That would be fresh.
We're going to
Yeah.
do something live, and you guys can come on out, and then we can get you back on and talk a little bit more, have Lightning out there, and maybe when the documentary finally drops,
Sure.
have you guys back
Yeah.
out, talk. We'll go watch it as a group,
Dude.
come back
Yeah.
and see what it's all about,
that'd
and
be
talk
awesome.
about it.
That'd be dope.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, thank you guys
Thanks,
once
you guys.
again,
Thank
man.
you.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
It's
Yeah.
the West Coast Pop Lock Podcast, live every Tuesday. We
Yes.
out.
Goodbye. Hell yeah.
The #1 live show in the world, West Coast Pop Lock Podcast. Coming to you from Pig Studios in Compton, California. Featuring radio personality Super Steve Flores. Comedian extraordinaire, that dude Johnny C. And Mr. I'll Do Anything for a Buck, Mario 81. So throw your dubs in the air